Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Morning. Working on notes.
Writing notes for the first time in your life. Steve forgot to type up enough notes to tell you what to say.
You know what I'm saying, Skip? This is how I do. If you worried about how your grass was looking, you wouldn't have to worry about what my grass doing over here.
My grass is cut.
That mess.
Yeah. How are you?
That ain't no good grass over there. This is the good stuff over here.
Oh, he's ready. Yeah. You better watch out. I don't know. We got some notes, new notes.
You better be ready because your man's 2-5.
Oh,
what
my
happened
man.
to Hollywood Braun? I don't know. That's not what you do in Hollywood. You don't lose.
Process.
Oh, it's a process. See about that.
Trust it.
Yep.
We're going to get to that guy, but we also had chaos in Cleveland. What does that mean for Skip's guy, Baker Mayfield? And will Shannon continue to disrespect Tom Brady and the Patriots even after that win last night? But we are going to start with the Lakers. They were in Minnesota last night to play the Wolves. LeBron had a good all-around game, 29 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. But once again, it came down to the wire for the Lakers. LeBron made a layup with just over a minute left to cut the lead to 2. Then Kyle Kuzma got his three-point attempt blocked. The Lakers lost by 4. That dropped them to a disappointing 2-5 this season. Let's take a listen to a frustrated LeBron after the game.
Well, we got to get better. We know that. We talk about patience, but we can't have reoccurrence of the same thing. I think if you doing the same things over and over and over and expecting a different result, then that's insanity. So we have to. We have to continue. We have to get better. We can't keep having the same mistakes over and over.
Preaching patience this whole year. At what point does that patience run out? And what do you look like as a leader when your patience does run out?
You probably don't want to be around when my patience run out. I'm serious.
Uh-oh, he's serious.
Oh, Shannon, what do you make of those comments from LeBron?
I'm sure he's frustrated. And he said something in there, Skip, and I don't know if you noticed, he says, we're repeating the same mistakes. And I wrote this down, this is what I was writing. A mistake repeated more than once is a decision. So what LeBron is saying, we keep making these same mistakes. So you're making a decision to not do what we've practiced, not to do what we've talked about in film study, not to do what we talked about in the huddle. You're making decisions.
Wow.
And that's unacceptable. I think Bron understood it was going to be a process. And this is a young team. Lonzo, Kuzma in their second season. Brandon Ingram in his third season. Haven't come close to being in playoff contention. So they don't really know what it's like on a nightly basis to get up and have to play your best game. Also, this is the first time of them having a true superstar on their team. So guess what? You're going to get everybody's best every single night. Tom Brady can go play for someone else, Skip, but guess what? They're going to get up to play that team that Tom Brady's on. That's what happens when you're a superstar in a particular sport. Teams will get up to play you. Now, Minnesota, they've been together for at least a year. So this shouldn't come as a shock that they lost to Minnesota. You're in the process. You lost, who else they lost? They beat Denver. Denver's been together. But for the most part, these teams that they're losing to, they've been together. Portland has been together. DeRozan is new, but for the most part, the pieces that are there have been there. But I think LeBron he can't get frustrated this year. And because he says, well, you don't want to see me frustrated. You don't want to be around me. Well, let me tell you what happens when LeBron gets frustrated. When he got frustrated, Jenny, the first time in Cleveland, what happened? He left and went to Miami. When he got frustrated in Miami, Jenny, what did he do? Turn around and went back to Cleveland. And when he got frustrated for the third time in Cleveland, what did he do, Skip Bayless? He came to L.A.
And then he signed a 4-year deal.
Yikes.
He's stuck.
There's no such thing.
You can't escape.
Don't you know that's LeBron James?
Oh.
Let me ask you a question. Did Kyrie Irving get out of Cleveland? Now, who do you think has more pull in the NBA, LeBron James or Kyrie Irving? Okay, thank you.
So LeBron's going to talk his way out of L.A.?
Are
you suggesting?
All I'm saying.
It's already over? The honeymoon ended this quickly?
The question was, what happens when LeBron gets frustrated? LeBron said, you don't want to see me frustrated. Trust me. Okay, I'm just telling you, once he got frustrated, that's what happened. No, I'm not saying he's trying to get out of L.A. No, I'm not saying that. He's frustrated because he's not used to losing, but he also understands this is a team that's only been together for a little over 3 months. They've only played 7 games together. When he went to Miami, at one point, weren't they 19 and 20? When he went back to Cleveland, those were veteran ball clubs. D. Wade was a proven guy. Chris Bosh was proven. Kevin Love was an all-star. Kyrie was an all-star. Where's the all-star? This is a very, very young team. So LeBron knew what he was getting into. I don't believe, let me take that back. I believe if they continue to make the same mistakes that LeBron was talking about, it's going to heighten, it's going to exacerbate, it's going to speed up that the process of him being frustrated. But I don't think he's frustrated playing with young players. He's frustrated that they keep making the same mistake, and that's going to be a problem.
Could you detail just briefly some of those mistakes? Do you know any off the top of your head?
Only he would know, and only the players would know what those mistakes are. It's kind of like when you see something in football, without knowing the defense, it's kind of hard to know who's responsible. But when you know the defensive coverages, like I be knowing the coverages, I know whose responsibility it is.
So, my turn.
Yes.
Here we go again. The king is up to his same old tricks with his new team because, LeBron's a ticking time bomb. Where have I heard that before? 15 times before. He's about to explode on his young and old teammates if they don't figure out how to play with LeBron. And I say, stop it already. They are 2-5. This is a blame deflection alert. They are 2-5 because there's only one player that LeBron should be blaming right now, and that is himself. And I don't think I'm nitpicking here because I'm going to quickly, since we haven't played that many games yet, I'm going to show you that the Lakers have lost 5 games they easily could have won. That's the good news here because they were in all these. Have they gotten blown out one time?
No.
Some of the scores got a little lopsided at the end, but they weren't blown out in the fourth quarter. So just to reiterate for everybody, just to refocus everybody, the Lakers were down only 1 point with 8 minutes left at Portland. Close, King. It's your game. That's opening night on TNT at Portland, and they lost by 9.
I'm glad Jordan was never down by 8 minutes left by 1 point and lost the game.
Then at home, the Lakers were down only 1 point with 4:13 left when the brawl ensued, and they lost by 9. Close, King. It's your game. It's on a silver platter for you. Then at San Antonio, they're up 1 with 7:11 left and down only 1 with 37 seconds left, and they lost by 4. That's LeBron's game. Silver platter. The Spurs aren't very good. They're just
they're not,
disarray. Well, they're 4-2 right now, and it's because DeMar DeRozan is playing a lot better than Kawhi Leonard. But that's a whole.
Just stop doing that. Don't do that.
Well, I'm going to do it.
Don't do that.
Did Kawhi even play last? No. He took another game off.
Why are you concerned with that? That's not your team.
You brought it up, but they're not very
good. I didn't bring it. You brought it up.
The best closer is DeMar DeRozan so far that I've seen in the league so far because he's closing every game for them the way LeBron is not closing. And then at Minnesota last night, they're up 2 with 6:49 left. I tweeted, this is LeBron's game. Come on, you could at least close this game against the Timberwolves. They don't have Andrew Wiggins, and they're kind of in disarray around Jimmy Butler, and I'm thinking, surely you got this. Then they wind up down only 2 with 58 seconds left, and then this ensued. There's a missed shot by Karl Anthony Towns, and Kuzma gets the rebound, and he gives it to LeBron, and LeBron brings the ball up the floor. And could we see what happened at this point? Now, you're down 2. Whose mistake is this? Here's LeBron. He calls a play. Here comes B.I. to pick. Drive it, go. You got your switch. You go. Now, drive it, shoot. And he throws some desperation pass to poor Kyle Kuzma, who's up against the clock, completely guarded, and Taj Gibson blocks a desperation jumper by Kyle Kuzma. That is wrong. That is big mistakes, 2 big mistakes by LeBron. You're down 2. You got to make a shot. You got to get to the free throw line. Well, it's your game. You got the best player on the planet. Is he not the best player on the planet?
Yeah.
Help me out. Yeah. And he's got a young and an old team, and you just got to make a play. You got 2 picks for you, and you couldn't make a play. You couldn't drive it or get a jump shot.
So he's the first guy that
couldn't beat. But I'm just saying, I'm just showing you again and again, the emperor has no clothes, as in C-L-O-S-E, as in you can't close. Those are your games. The kids and the vets put you in position to go win the game, and you've done it 5 times.
They put him in position.
Sure they did.
So who did that
29-10? 5 times you're in position. You should have won all those games somehow, some way.
But could they have lost those games also?
Guess so, but if you keep telling me he's the best player on the planet, and
so Michael Jordan won every game he played in.
Well, he went 6-0 in the finals.
But you have to play regular season games before you get to the finals.
Okay, but that's 5 of these, and again, they would not have beaten Denver. I think even you would agree with this, if not for Lance Stevenson.
Stop it.
Oh, come on. Okay, well, wait. We got to point out again to everybody who's forgotten, with 6:55 left in the Denver game in the fourth quarter, they're down 8 at home. They're down 8. And Luke Walton pulls out LeBron James, and I'm saying, what are you doing? Why are you pulling LeBron now? And Lance takes the game over and scores 8 straight points, and when LeBron comes back in at 3:55, it's tied.
Okay, then
and Lance passes down up court to LeBron for a wide open
But then why didn't
layup.
Lance close these games?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that, because you should be asking Luke Walton this, because it is driving me crazy. The microwave for this team, you remember the microwave, Vinny Johnson? Well, the new microwave is Lance Stevenson, because he's dancing on everybody. Boy, he danced on my Spurs the other night in San Antonio. Was I ever happy that he did not play down the stretch in San Antonio? Last night in the fourth quarter, how many minutes did Lance Stevenson play? How about a big 0? What are you doing? Did you see him ignite in the first half last night? Every time I've seen him in, he just generates instant offense. You have to let him close. He's fearless.
Skip,
he's going to get to the basket. He's not afraid to take shots.
Isn't that a part of the learning and growing curve?
I don't know
who you're going to play and when you're going to play, and try to find a lineup that works really well in the first half, in the second half, and then who closes the game? Because a lot of this was crystallized for you when Brandon Ingram and Rondo was suspended. Now they're back, so now we have to find lineups. Now we have to find matchups. And how do we put these guys together? Who's going to play down the stretch?
Thank you for bringing that up. Guess who played all 12 minutes of the fourth quarter for the Los Angeles Lakers last night? Rajon Rondo. Why is that? We both agreed. You agreed with me that when Rondo came back from his suspension, Lonzo had 1 out. That it should be his team now. That Rondo should be coming off the bench. And in the fourth quarter, Lonzo played 3 minutes and 36 seconds while LeBron was resting. So he came in for LeBron and played with Rondo on the court together as a backcourt tandem. Why don't you let Lonzo close? Because Lonzo can defend. What happened on the final dagger play of the game? Help me out. If we could see the Jimmy Butler play. Who was guarding Jimmy Butler on that play? Rondo. How tall is Rondo? He's maybe 6'1". I give him like 6 feet. How tall is Jimmy Butler? How about 6 feet 8 inches tall? So is Rondo going to be able to bother Jimmy's jump shot? I don't think so. And Jimmy just daggered him right in the heart. He got even with LeBron for LeBron's clutch jumper that he made on Butler last. That's it. Ball game.
The Timberwolves were 8 of 11 from 3. Jimmy Butler was perfect. So I'm not so sure that
What
Lonzo.
do you mean there were 8 of 11? When?
From three-point line in the fourth quarter.
Oh, in the fourth quarter.
Yes, and Jimmy Butler was
Butler's
a perfect 5 for 5. So I'm not so sure Lonzo, the way Jimmy was shooting the ball, because there were some times that Brandon Ingram was on him, Kyle Kuzma.
Lonzo can really defend, and he's really long, and he's 6'7". I think Jimmy would have a harder time making that shot.
This is what you know. You've covered the game long enough. You know when a guy gets it going, like Jimmy had it in the fourth quarter, there's nothing you can do. We're going to talk about a guy that got it going last night. There was nothing Chicago could do. And when these guys get it going, the basketball look like they're throwing a beach ball in the ocean. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's nothing you can do. And Jimmy got it going.
Would you believe that the Lakers are averaging only 26 points per fourth quarter, which is the 5th worst in the NBA? So they can run and gun like crazy for 3 quarters, but then when the money's on the table, when crunch time approaches and throats get a little tighter, they start to get slower and slower and slower. And their half court is not great.
No, because they don't have shooters. They have guys that need the ball in their hands and can slash and maybe hit a 10-foot shot. But
although, by the way, they made 12 of 33 last night. That's pretty good, right?
But here's the thing. But when you allow a team to shoot the ball like they let Minnesota shoot the ball in the fourth quarter, and you go 8 of 11 from 3, Skip, you're going to probably lose the game to that team. And again, this is a big team. They didn't get out-rebounded by much, but when you go Cat and you go Jang, you go Taj, you go Jimmy Butler, that is a really, really big team. And
what hurt him was they gave up 20 offensive rebounds.
Yes.
Karl Anthony Towns was getting all he wanted on the offensive glass. Why is that? So as good as JaVale is, he's averaging 15 and 6, but 3 blocks a game, leading the NBA in blocks. And last night he was at it again. He was all over the place, changing, blocking shots. 3 more. But he has only 6 rebounds a game. So the weird dichotomy there for JaVale is he's not a physical rebounder. LeBron's leading the team with 9 rebounds again.
But here's the thing with JaVale. Let me tell you why he's not going to get that many rebounds. Because when you go to challenge a shot defensively, the ball gets blocked or the ball gets missed.
Sometimes
you're out of position, so you can't fall back and get the rebounds. Now, and offensively, he's not a man-eater on the offensive glass like a Charles Barkley, like a Karl Malone. That's not what he is. But if someone would have told you at the beginning of the season, Skip, JaVale's going to give you somewhere between 25 and 30 minutes a night, he'll give you somewhere between 15 and 16.
He's been highly impressive.
You take it.
I've been shocked by how
You
well
take
he's
that.
played. Yep.
But that's the thing. What they're going to have to understand, when JaVale goes to challenge somebody's guy's shot, that guy's going to have to try to, box out and get the rebound because JaVale is now out of position. This is still a young team, and you're trying to figure out. Luke Walton has his work cut out for him, Skip, because like I said, things got crystallized for 3 to 5 games because there was no Rondo, there was no Ingram. Now these guys are back. Lance had a defined role. Josh Hart didn't look like the same player coming off the bench he did when he started for those 3 to 5 games.
I agree. Yep. So Brandon Ingram comes back last night, and you and I both agreed we're not sure he can find a place in this rotation because it's really rolling without him, correct?
Yep.
So in the first half, he plays a lot. He played 13 minutes, and he made 6 out of 7 shots, scored a game-high 17 by halftime, and Luke's like, I think I got to play Brandon Ingram. So it's a hot seat that Luke's sitting on. I'm going to say it again. This is the most difficult team to coach I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Starting with LeBron, and then it goes to kids and vets. So which way are you going to go? You're going to end with the vets? You're going to close with them? Or you're going to close with the kids? I don't think Luke has any idea. And like you say, he's experimenting. And I don't know in the Western Conference how long you could. In the East, you could experiment with LeBron's team around him because you just knew they'll just kick it in gear. And in the East, they're going to be okay. Even if they have the 3 seed, they're going to get to the finals through the East because they're just better than those teams. But in this group, you better be careful because all of a sudden, I keep telling you, the Clippers are pretty good. The Dallas Mavericks are no joke. I watched them against San Antonio, went to overtime last night. They got some firepower.
But see, the thing that the Lakers are really good at is getting up and down. Everybody in the Western Conference can get up and down. So you don't really have an advantage there. So if you can score
I mean, they're still leading the league by far in points in the paint because of their break layups.
Yeah.
66 a game.
But when teams, they can neutralize that when they make 14.
They can neutralize it in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yep. You can just say, we're going to get back in the fourth quarter. We're not going to let them get breakaways on us.
And they're doing a good job of that. But I think once Luke Walton defines everyone's role, okay, this is going to be my starting lineup. This is going to be because I agree. I think Lance should be on the floor in the fourth quarter. And last night, they had a lineup in the fourth quarter. I'm like,
I'm with you.
Okay. But it's going to crystallize here again. It'll crystallize. These guys will have played together. So about 15 games in, Luke Walton says, okay, this is my starters. This is going to be my first, second, third guy off the bench. And when the rubber needs to meet the road in the fourth quarter, this is going to be my closing unit. And we're going to go play basketball moving forward.
Lance Stevenson, 0 minutes in the fourth.
No, he deserved minutes. He deserved minutes.
Like 4?
Yeah, he deserved
Just let him go heat it up for 4 minutes?
Because not only can he initiate offense, I mean, he's shooting the ball better from the outside than we're used to seeing him. He's going to play hard. He's going to crash the boards for you.
He's going to steal the ball. He is.
He's going to get a little eye control. He's going to start to Lance a lot on him. He's going to start dancing with his Skip. But I'm going to play him. But I was surprised. I agree with you. I was surprised Lonzo didn't play as much in the fourth quarter as I thought he would. But they like Rondo they like Rondo playing in the fourth quarter with LeBron. Skip.
I don't know if they like him or LeBron likes him. I don't know if LeBron is saying, I want him to close with me or not. I don't know.
I mean, he played, 7 more minutes than Lonzo.
In the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
Or total for the game?
Total.
No, for the game.
Yeah.
No, I got it. But Lonzo started, right?
Well, he played 8 more minutes.
Yeah.
Almost 8 minutes.
Yeah. But Lonzo started.
But like I said, Josh Hart didn't look as confident coming off the bench like he did in the previous games.
No.
Josh Hart was ultra aggressive, crashing the boards, initiate, but now all of a sudden he go back to his role and he's getting spot duty now. So it's going to work itself. Come on.
Yeah.
LeBron going to do what he does.
Do what he does?
Yeah, 29, 11, and 7. Can I interest you in that?
Can I interest you in KCP starting to snipe at the coaches through the media because he got 6 minutes and 45 seconds last night. You think he's happy? Every night somebody's not going to be happy in this locker room.
Someone.
But and this is what happens when you have a team like this where roles aren't clearly defined. And KCP's like, I've been in the league, I've been on, I've been on the playoff team, blah, blah, blah. I need my minutes. You're going to get this, Skip. But at the end
And by the way, he's had streaks this year where I thought he was really good.
Yeah.
Okay, you can only play 5.
But he shouldn't. But I'm saying, okay, he's complaining about minutes, but who are you going to play him in front of?
I don't know.
You going to play him in front of Lance? You going to play him in front of Josh Hart? Because he's not a true big. I mean, he's not Kuzma. He's not Ingram. He's obviously he's not getting Bron or JaVale McGee's minute.
Yep.
So now basically it's down to Rondo, Lonzo, Josh Hart, and him.
And then here we go again. Michael Beasley not with team last night for a personal reason. I don't know. Is he saying I'm out? Is he saying I don't get to play, so I don't even want to go?
Well,
Maybe.
I don't know what these guys were thinking. Did they think it was going to be smooth sailing in the beginning?
I don't know.
I know when you push the boat back from the dock, it's normally smooth, but once you get out of this choppy water, this thing was going to be choppy from the get-go, Skip.
Going to have to figure out the
Here we
chemistry
go.
issues. Hopefully soon. Well, one team who is not struggling with chemistry are the Patriots. Are they the best team in the AFC? And can anyone slow down the Warriors? We'll discuss all that next.
No mercy.
Well, the Patriots were supposed to have no trouble against the Bills last night, but they struggled for most of the game. Tom Brady threw for over 300 yards, but they couldn't get in the end zone until the fourth quarter. That was the first time a Brady team did that since 2012. And the Patriots defense sealed the win with a Devin McCourty pick six in the fourth. New England has now won 5 straight. They're looking up at the 7-1 Chiefs in the AFC. Let's take a listen to Brady and what he thought after the game.
They don't give up any big plays. And, so we were just kind of moving it down the field, and we got into the red area, and we just couldn't get the ball in the end zone. And just not enough positive plays down there. And we had, a couple opportunities that we just didn't take advantage of. And I think if we score those touchdowns, we feel a lot better. But, they've been playing good all year. I mean, they haven't given up many yards. But, we hung in there, we grinded it out. Like I said, some tough conditions, but found a way to win.
Win's a win. All right, Shannon, are the Patriots the best team in the AFC?
I still believe it's the Kansas City Chiefs because they're so dynamic offensively. They put so much pressure on you. Right now, Patrick Mahomes is the MVP. I believe he's the MVP front runner with those 27 touchdowns with only 6 interceptions. They do so much offensively. Tyreek Hill, playmaker. Travis Kelce, playmaker. Now, all of a sudden, they're getting Sammy Watkins involved. They have a real running game with Kareem Hunt. Not only can he run it, he can catch the ball out of the backfield. And over the last couple of games, Skip, they've gotten better defensively. They're number 2 in the league. I didn't know this. They were number 2 in the league in sacks. Now, eventually, Justin Houston, nursing a hamstring injury, he'll get back. Skip, I didn't mention Eric Berry. I don't know if he's going to come back, Skip. He tore that Achilles first game last year, and he has yet to practice this year. I guess dealing with a heel injury on the same foot, on the same leg as that Achilles that he ruptured last year. So I just think the Chiefs' defense will get better, especially, and they'll be able to generate more pass rush once Justin Houston gets back. But you have to give the Patriots credit, Skip, for the way because they didn't have their best stuff last night. And I think the mark of a really good team is finding when you don't have your best stuff, you're on the road, you still find a way to win. And I don't think Buffalo posed a serious threat because their quarterback play, Skip, that's ridiculous. That is utterly ridiculous. And Derek Anderson doing everything he can to get himself out of the league. And they're like, nah, bro, you need to stay here a little longer. Because Nathan Peterman is the answer, or Allen, who's injured right now. So defensively, I thought they did some things. They had a 3rd and 17, and they let Edelman get a first down. They have a 3rd and 7. They play in 22-man. And the one thing, when you play that coverage, Skip, you can't get out of your lane. You can't run a stunt because even Tom Brady, as pedestrian as he is, if you cross stunt and he sees the lane, it's 22-man. Everybody has their back to him. He's going to scramble for a first down.
That was pretty good, wasn't it?
Even though he barely got it because they turned around and saw like, oh, Tom's running. They still like they got it before he got to the first down.
I thought Tre'Davious gave him a break. He sort of pulled up on him.
Well, because you know what's going to happen. You hit that guy right there. So, but Skip, I think all things being equal, because of Sonny Michel, now I believe Sonny Michel is going to come back at some point in time, but normally you don't see a guy number 84, Cordell is playing running back. He got 10 carries.
10 carries.
He got 10 carries, Skip. So, given that, the status of their running game currently, I'm going to give the nod to the Kansas City Chiefs. But I believe the series is going to determine who gets home field. Because that's because I believe if Kansas City has to go to New England, I think they'll struggle. I definitely believe if New England has to go to Kansas City, because that's been their house of horrors also, they'll struggle. But don't sleep on the Chargers.
Don't sleep on them. That was your pick, right?
Don't sleep on Philip.
forgotten.
I'm not sleeping on my pick because my pick was the New England Patriots.
You pick chalk every year, so no one's surprised by that.
Chalk?
Chalk.
I pick Tom Brady every year because
Chalk.
you should learn, don't bet against that 12. The real number 12 is in Foxborough.
And the real number 12 coming in town, and he ticked off. So you know what happens when he get ticked off, Skip Bayless.
Yeah, he probably lost his team because he threw a teammate under the bus, but that's okay. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
You ought to stop.
So I'm going to remind everybody, because everybody seems to have forgotten, that it was just pretty recently, it's just a couple of weeks back. I don't know. I saw this game, I think it was on a Sunday night at Foxborough, and I saw Tom Brady outgun Patrick Mahomes. Is that possible, or did I just dream that? I saw Tom Brady throw for 182 yards in the fourth quarter, while the great Bill Belichick's defense was allowing 31 points in the second half to Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. 31 in the second half, but guess who won the game 43-40? The Patriots did. How can that be with that pathetic Belichick defense that they keep running out there? I don't know. It's just because the best quarterback is easily Tom Brady. So I don't love this team. I obviously don't love the running game because, to your point, you just took a big kick returner and said, you be our running back tonight. Really? Really?
6'3", 215-pound.
Really? Okay.
Wide receiver.
That's what I'm saying. He's a kick returner, right?
He is. That's what he is.
So you just tried that, and you averaged 3 yards a carry on 25 carries. It's not much. It's not great.
They got to have somebody, Skip. You can't run James White 35 times.
No, you cannot. You can flip it to him 15 times,
you
maybe.
can throw it to him, hand it to him.
But the point is, I'm not going to bet against this quarterback because he's still the best. So I still say that New England will represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. But if you look at what happened last night, that defense, the Buffalo defense, is no joke. It had allowed the fourth fewest yards in pro football. And I remind Miss Jenny that once upon a time, not too long ago, that Buffalo went to Minnesota and held Kirk Cousins and company to 6 points and won 27-6. And Kirk Cousins had a QBR that day of 10 on a scale of 0 to 100 because they were all over him, and they're hard to move the ball on. Right. Okay?
And then they went the next week to Green Bay and got shut out.
22-0, but it was only 22 that he scored. So is that, you impressed by that?
What about the nothing part?
Okay, the nothing part is the whole part. I got that, but when you're trying to move the ball against them, it's just hard because, as Tom, you just heard him say, they just don't give up plays, especially in the red zone. So his offense went into the red zone 3 times and only cashed once. Is that the end of the world? 1 out of 3? And he was furious about it after the game.
Well, that's
he
what
said,
happened.
we're going to go correct this.
Well, that's what happened with Pat Mahomes. Remember when they played New England?
Did.
When you play Tom Brady, Skip, he's going to score. And more times than not, he's not going to go 33% in the red zone. He's going to be upwards of 50% in the red zone. So when you get your opportunities, you better put points on the board, not kick field goals. You're not beating Tom Brady, be it your building or his, by kicking field goals. But another reason is because of the dynamic playmakers. Tyreek Hill is a playmaker. Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins are playmakers.
Sure.
What the Patriots have are chain movers. Edelman is a chain mover. Skip, I watch Gronk real closely. Gronk ain't close to being Gronk.
There's one pass at the end of the half that Brady kind of threw down where he just had to go down for it. He can't even bend.
He can't bend anymore. He can't bend anymore. And then you see the one he overthrew and he was like,
my back.
My
back.
He's not close to being healthy. And that's, it gets cold in New England. The one thing, Skip, if you got an ankle, you got knee, you got back problems, the worst thing for it is cold weather. Well, guess where he plays? So he's not in Miami. He's not playing indoors. So they need him to be the old Gronk in order to compete. I believe to compete this year, Skip, going to need Gronk at his absolute best.
Okay, just remember, they did beat Atlanta. They came back from 28 to 3 down with no Gronk, just for the record.
But no, I'm saying to get out of the AFC this year. The offense is a high-powered, Skip, this year. You look at Kansas City. San Diego can score.
They can.
Pittsburgh Steelers can score.
They can.
And so you need to be able to match that firepower, and Gronk gives you another weapon to match that.
So last night, Buffalo came into that game allowing 210 yards passing per game. Tom Brady threw for 324. And do you remember the early throw to Josh Gordon, the deep ball?
Yeah.
He should have caught it, hit him right in the hands.
Misjudged it.
Yeah, he just didn't. I don't know if he lost it in the lights. He just didn't even make much of a play for it. But that's an extra, 50 yards right there. So Tom could have come close to throwing for 400 yards against a defense that was averaging 210
But Skip,
passing.
he did throw the ball 45 times.
Okay. All right. But that's what they have because they couldn't run the ball last night. They can flip it to ball control it. Just flip it to James White.
I mean, you look at, I don't know if you noticed this. Did you see LaShawn McCoy? He's become, Skip, I think he's become allergic to contact. Because when guys get around him, you saw what he was doing. You with your TV, you got good TV. You got a new one. You got a new TV, didn't you?
I did.
So you see LaShawn McCoy, when contact get close, he pulling the turf over his head. Now, I don't know if he's trying
I
to...
just see him waving the ball like this.
Okay, like a
hey,
loaf of bread.
hey, I got a ball. Please don't hit me, but I got a ball.
Maybe he's trying to protect himself. He don't want to get nicked and have to be there for the rest of the year. Maybe he's hoping someone comes and trade for him.
I don't doubt
But
it.
I'm just saying, Skip, I'm watching the game last night, and guys get close. He's pulling the turf over his... I thought he was laying in bed, Jenny, the way he snatched
I
the
would
club
agree
over
with
his
that
head.
because I'm sure his dream of dreams would be to return
to
to
Philly.
Philadelphia, like today by 4 o'clock Eastern time, right?
18, 19.
Yeah.
They only had 58 plays. They had 58 plays to Tom Brady had 70. Well, you give Tom Brady that many cracks at you, and I'm sure Tom's disappointed because, guys, we had 70 plays. We're down in the red zone. They could have put this game away early. And what happens, Skip, when you play a team like Buffalo is that when you leave them, the longer you leave them around, the more confident in your playing in their building. So the fans, they're like, man, we got Tom Brady. Here it is, 9-6 or 12-6. We got a chance. And then he threw the touchdown. And Kroom, was it Kroom or Broom? I think it's Kroom. Dude, how you gonna get up and tell like you caught that ball? You know good D well that ball hit the dirt. Skip, he celebrating, he high-fiving. You know good and well replay gonna show you didn't catch that ball.
You were just crushed over that. You thought he had it.
Skip,
You thought it was a game.
I thought he had it because when he showed he got it, I'm like, he made a one-hand catch. And then I saw it the first time on replay. I'm like, dude.
It bounced. Yeah. Come on.
I'm like, dude, I can't even believe you. You done got everybody all
Trying
hyped.
to fool you.
Yeah.
So, to your point, last night Bill Belichick got a great break because he's playing against a quarterback who just 2 weeks ago was on his couch or at least on the golf course thinking he was completely retired from pro football.
Yes.
So that's what you got. You get to go against that and Shady McCoy, who's protecting, hoping he's going back to Philly today.
Yes.
Okay, so that's it. I'm not impressed that they held that to 6 points because Derek Anderson still threw for almost 300 yards.
Yes. And
it took one bad throw.
He stared the guy down. I mean, they're playing 22, and he stared the guy down so bad that McCourty came off the numbers and picked him in the middle of the field. That wasn't lurk. There's no way that's lurk coverage because I didn't see the other safety rotate to the middle of the field. He stayed on the hash. So maybe they played cover 6. I could be wrong, quarter, half, Skip, but there's no...
You had your sound down, but Jason Witten went off about the genius of Bill Belichick because he said, I've never seen a coverage like this because they played outside leverage over on the far side of the field, and then McCourty is the safety to the near side, and he broke for the football and broke underneath.
Well, that's why I'm saying it seemed like it might have been cover 6, which is half field to the wide side, quarters to the back side, and he jumped it because he saw him coming. Because everything told him it was cover 2, Skip. The middle linebacker hightailed it out of there. So he's not looking at the backside safety. He's thinking he's split just like the rest of them. They play in 22. But lo and behold, so I'm thinking now, as you say that, because like I said, I didn't hear what Jason Witten said, now it might have been quarters coverage where McCourty is playing hash. And so once he sees him Skip, he's staring him down. I mean, he's looking at the guy the whole while. What do you think? Look at McCourty. Look at the jump he gets. He's like, this dude ain't going outside.
He looked like the primary receiver on the play. Okay, so it took that to pick 6 and break the game open.
Wide open, yeah.
Way to go. But I immediately tweeted at our man Jason Witten. Again, he thinks he could outrun you right now. I don't know if he could or not. Now that he's in the booth, I don't know that he could, right? Now he doesn't get the benefit of having to actually go work out every day and practice, right?
He's working out.
Yeah, he's not working out. So, Jason, I tweeted at Jason Witten because I wanted to know, did he actually watch any of what Blake Bortles did to Belichick's defense, or what Matt Stafford did in Detroit to this defense, or what that kid Mahomes did in the second half to this defense, 31 points? Seriously? It's just not very good. It's actually pretty sorry by Belichick's former standards.
Well, sometimes, Skip, Coach Belichick gets to practice and you throw in a look that the team hadn't prepared for. So maybe he didn't see a whole lot of cover 6 on tape. Maybe he didn't see a whole lot of robber coverage. But I don't care what the coverage is. If you stare your receiver down in this league, Skip, guys are too good. They're looking for keys. They're looking at hand movement. They're looking at foot movement. They look. A cornerback will look at. So you tight to the numbers. You're trying to run an out route, huh? Or you wide. You're trying to run a slant route. They trying to pick up every clue. So if you stare the guy down, what you think McCourty gonna do?
I don't know. They're not playing any Derek Andersons from here on.
Well,
right?
No. They're not getting a guy off his couch to come start quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah. Well, I will throw this out there, though. New England opened as a 6.5-point favorite over your man, Aaron Rodgers, and I still got Tom Brady. I got
give me the 6 then.
I'm not going to give you
No. Give me the 6.
No,
if that's Tom Brady, Tom Brady's the greatest. I mean, if he's the greatest, he got to give me I need 6.
Aaron Rodgers
6 for 2
has
cases.
a better defense. Aaron
No,
Rodgers
he
has a
doesn't.
much better running game. Aaron Rodgers has a better group of receivers.
Give me.
I'll take Tom Brady. It's
Okay.
Tom Brady versus the world.
I tell you what I do.
Yeah.
I give you Tom Brady, but give me Aaron Rodgers and Coach Belichick for 2 cases of due.
You can have Coach Belichick.
Yeah, you don't want me to do
Have
that.
him.
You don't want
Have
me
him.
because Aaron
I'll
Rodgers.
trade you.
If Aaron Rodgers had that,
Yeah.
it'd be over, Skip.
Would it be?
Yeah, it'd be over.
yeah.
He probably had about 3 or 4 rings himself right now.
Well, all Tom Brady needs is Josh McDaniels.
All
He's
he
good.
needs is Coach Belichick.
Yep.
So stop talking about Josh McDaniels. Did you see what Josh McDaniels did in Denver?
As a coordinator, he's really good.
Did you see what he did with the Rams? When he didn't have somebody named Tom Brady, tell me about Josh McDaniels.
You know? So, you know what? You make a great point. They don't even need coaches in New England.
You know
Just
what?
let Brady run.
You know what, Skip Bayless?
Tom Brady do it all?
You need to be ashamed of yourself.
No mercy.
Let's go back to what we saw last night, because the numbers from Klay Thompson looked like he was playing a video game against the lowly Chicago Bulls. He made 10 threes by halftime, while the Warriors scored 92 points in the first half. Klay finished with 52 points, 14 threes, passing the record for the most threes in a game that was set by his teammate Steph Curry, and he did it without playing in the fourth quarter. Take a listen to Klay on breaking the record.
Couldn't ask for a better way to do it, and I'm just going to continue this momentum on Wednesday. And it's the best feeling in basketball, or one of the best feelings in basketball, when you touch the ball and feel like it's going in every time. So what I do this for is those moments that you share with your teammates. That's why we play basketball, because it's a collective effort. And I really believe, I don't know if I would be able to break these records I have gotten in my past, just like tonight, without the system I play in, or the team I'm with, or the guys I play with, because they knew even before I went out for the second half, Steph looked at the box score and said, go get it. And that just shows you the unselfishness that is within him. Same with, KD and Draymond and DJ and everyone else that was out there on the floor trying to find me and get me good looks.
Okay, Shannon, what statement did Klay and the Warriors make with that performance last night?
They didn't make a statement. I said last week, Skip, after Steph Curry had that 51, I said the only guy that can get hotter than Steph is Klay Thompson. I've seen him go get 60 in 29 minutes. Well, you know what he did last night? He went and got 52 in 26 minutes and 33 seconds. So when it comes to hotness, nobody in the history of the game can heat up like this guy can, especially from distance. Skip. What they showed, the Warriors said, look, guys, we've been bull jiving. If we take y'all serious, do you know we might win 80 games? If we were to really take you guys serious. But you know what? It's hard to get up every single night. Get up for a Monday night, a Wednesday night, a Friday night, a Sunday, a Tuesday, a Thursday. Skip, come on. I mean, let this sink in for a second. Never in the history of the game have we seen a team, their third best player can go get you 50 in under 30 minutes. Never in the history. But you wanted the best player on the planet to beat that team. Really, Skip Bayless? How you feel now? Don't answer that question. It's not your turn. I have the floor. Hold on. I'm going to make sure. Steph Curry shot the ball less than 10 times last night. Kevin Durant shot the ball less than 10 times.
Interesting.
And they get 149.
Yeah.
That sink in. The second best player, the third best player in the NBA shoots less than 10 shots. And the third best player go get you 52. How do you beat this? The only time we've seen a collection of talent like this and shooters like this is at an all-star game. But this is an all-star. This isn't 2K. This is a regular season Warriors team. You might beat them for a game, but I don't see the team that's assembled currently that can beat this team 4 times over a 2-week span. So they just put everybody on notice. Yeah, I get it. But also, Skip, maybe they're looking at it. Maybe the Warriors themselves are looking within. Guys, I think there's a 90% chance that KD gonna walk. So if he gonna walk, we might as well just go ahead and do this thing, put this thing on ice right quick. Let everybody know we're gonna get 4 in 5 years, 3 in a row, and then we'll see what happens after that. They put everybody on notice. Klay Thompson didn't do nothing because I've seen him do this before. Nobody can heat up like this guy can. And I get it. He was struggling, Skip, shooting 17%. He was shooting worse than Bron from the three-point line.
5 for 36. Wow.
And then he comes in and does this. 26 minutes and 33 seconds is all it took for this man to get 52 points. If I'm a Steve Kerr, I'm like, stand there and get 20. I'm gonna see if he can get 20, Skip. Because when you got it going like that, Skip, I've had it going a couple of times like that. It might took me out, but I look back on it, I'm like, Mike, you should let me in. You should let me get a fight. You should let me I could have had about 2 or 3 200-yard games, Skip. But at the time, you're like, no, don't rub it in. The shoe might be on the other foot. I said, well, I'll be gone when the shoe's on the other foot. Let me get my numbers. But I came out the game. But Klay Thompson, think about this. 2 of the greatest 5 shooters in the history of the game are on the same team in their prime. I could make a case that Kevin Durant is the top 5 shooter of all time. And they got 3 of those guys
You're
on their
acknowledging? Oof.
Oh!
Kevin Durant, the best player on the planet.
See, there you go.
Well, that's what you were saying.
Skip, why you
He's
got
7 feet tall.
Skip, why you got to do that?
He's one of the top 5 shooters. He's 7 feet. I think that qualifies as best player on the planet.
See, Skip, why you do this? Okay, you took swimming lessons. Now the first thing you talking about, you a lifeguard. No, you're not. Try to pay this team a compliment, and you go way out. Oh, he's the best player. You said he's a top 5 shooter. Okay.
I was a lifeguard without swimming lessons. I just qualified. I could just swim.
You can't swim.
Yes, I can.
You didn't have any lessons.
I didn't have any lessons. No.
I ain't have no
just
lessons
swam.
either.
Huh?
I jumped there with the 4-H camp.
did? Okay.
I ain't know how to swim, Skip.
Right.
I told my friends, I saw my white friends, they jumping off the diving board.
Yep.
I was sitting on the edge. I was like, man, I sure wish I could do that. They're like, well, get up on the diving board. I said, man, I can't swim. If I'm drowning, y'all gonna save me? They're like, yeah.
Okay. Good for you.
13 feet deep, Skip.
There you
I
go.
come in that thing stroking. They call me the Black Phelps now.
Did they?
No, not then.
Not because there was no Phelps.
No. That's what they call me now.
So allow me to remind you after your soliloquy that Game 1 last year, the NBA Finals at Oakland and their building, this dynasty was up only 1 point with 10 seconds left, and the best player on the planet, quote unquote, had the ball in his hands with little Steph Curry guarding him at the top of the key, and I don't know what happened. He didn't take the shot.
Okay, Skip. Let's just say for the sake of argument, LeBron takes that shot, hits that shot, they win the game. Whoa. Are they beating the Warriors 3 more times?
I'd
yes
like their
or no?
chances a whole lot better that way.
Skip, stop.
You'd have them on the run. Do you know how huge it is to win Game 1 in their building in a 7-game series? It's huge, the momentum of it. Then you could just go freestyle it in Game 2.
Guess what happened? I remember in 1991, Michael Jordan, first NBA Finals. If you don't mind telling the people at home what happened, Michael Jordan's team had the best record. Can you tell the people at home what happened to Michael Jordan in Game 1?
He went 6-0 in the finals.
No, Skip, I'm asking you what happened in Game 1.
And he didn't have Steph and Clay.
Skip, I'm asking you a simple question.
Okay, I got you.
They won. Magic Johnson team beat Michael Jordan in Game 1.
They did.
And lost the next 4.
They sure did. So, back to Klay Thompson. Here's the point. Here's my takeaway from last night. I call him the 4th best player on this team because I think Draymond is slightly more valuable, but that's just me. That's debatable. But when the player I think is the 4th best scores 52 with an NBA record 14 threes, and his stated goal for this year is to make first team all defense, that's unfair. That's just unfair. That's like game over. So when two former MVPs, Steph and KD, willingly feed a hot-handed Klay Thompson so that he can break the record, that's just unfair, because you want to talk about sharing the ball, you want to talk about no ego on that roster. That's shocking to me in this day and age that two former MVPs, one former two-time MVP, just willingly, they just give it up. Like you said, he didn't even shoot 10 shots last night. And guess whose record was about to be broken? His. So he's feeding his teammates saying, go for it, man. Records are made to be broken. That's what he said after the game. That's not fair. That's when you not only do you share the ball, but you're sharing it with the most firepower we've ever seen assembled on one floor.
You know why Steph said that? Because I'm gonna break your record next
Well, he will. and he gets a kick out of that. And that'll be his goal. And I don't disagree with you. This team last night was on pace to score 100 points in the first half. They wound up with 90, which, by the way, 92, which is the second most in a first half ever. And how the Phoenix Suns back in 1990 scored 107 in the first half. Do you remember that team? Kevin Johnson, Marley, Hornacek was on that team.
So, Barkley was on that team too, right?
I don't think.
What year was it?
On it? Tom Chambers.
Tom Chambers.
Yeah, but the point is, how did they score 107 on the Denver Nuggets, who were just running gun? But they weren't even shooting. I think they took 2 threes in the first half. And it was not a three-point.
Up and down.
How do you score 107 on shooting 2?
Well, that's how it was in the 80s, Skip. You remember nobody shot threes in the 80s, and they were getting the Nuggets. The Nuggets lost to the Pistons, I think, 181 to 183.
Okay. All right. So last night they scored 92. That's the second most first-half points ever. It's just sick. It's impossibly great.
Yeah, this is why I say Klay Thompson is the third best player on the team, because he has the toughest assignment. They say you got James Harden, you got LeBron, you got Russ, but I still need you to give me 15 to 20, but I need you to limit what they get. So this is why I say he's the third best player on their roster. Now, Draymond does a little bit of everything. He rebounds, he assists, he'll defend, all that. But Klay Thompson on a nightly basis. Okay, Klay, tonight you got Dame Lillard. Tomorrow you got James Harden. And then you got Russ. Okay, by the way, you got Kawhi, you got Kyrie. So he has his, I mean, think about it, and you said it. Here's the guy that went and got 52 on less than 27 minutes, but his number one goal isn't to make the All-Star team, is to be first team because that's what he prides himself in.
What did Kevin Durant say before the season started? His goal this year is to be Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes.
Really? Well, that's not fair. I'm sorry, it's just not fair.
But see, KD, when you got an offensive game like KD, you got to stay motivated somehow. If KD was on another team without these guys, KD could legitimately average I'd say 33, 34 points a night, Skip, because you can't do anything with him. I mean, he shoots that shot. He's already 7 foot tall, so he's releasing it when he jumps at 11 feet in the air, so you're not blocking his shot.
And I remind everyone that there's another nuclear weapon who is simply the best big man in all of basketball, who's rehabbing an Achilles that might, by January, be part of this rotation. DeMarcus Cousins.
Right.
Can he share the ball? Can he rebound and play defense?
Oh, yeah.
Can he blend?
Well, because if you play him, you really don't need your depth lineup because he's the depth lineup because you used to pound what you try to do when they go to that lineup there. You try to pound them on the glass. Well, you got Boogie that once had a 40-20 game who was as good a big man as there is. Okay, whether you like Embiid, whether you like Anthony Davis, or you like Boogie Cousins. We're healthy, he's in that mix.
He's definitely in that
mix.
He's
in that mix.
So the only thing that went wrong for Klay Thompson last night was he banged heads with my man Damian Jones from Vanderbilt University, who's starting for the Golden State Warriors.
He got headbutting his own team.
He headbutted his own team, but maybe some of his knowledge from Vanderbilt went into Klay's head, because that's what happens when you bump heads with a Vandy man.
Wow,
you get some knowledge.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't. So what happened to me? I feel like every time I turn around, I got to go and read and study because I've lost something.
Oh, that's how it works. Those Vanderbilt alums.
But what did Klay do? He just puts a bandage on it, puts a headband over it, and he just keeps firing.
Yeah, he said he felt like Jackie Moon.
Jackie Moon.
I love how the season just started and the Warriors are playing games within the game. Like they're trying to keep themselves occupied. Separate goals.
The third best player. In the history of the game, have you ever seen a team that have the third best player that can go do that? No.
It's a new
No, Skip, I go and answer it for you, no.
From the team that has it together to the team that really does not. The Browns cleaned house yesterday, but is that good news, bad news for our guy Baker Mayfield? We'll discuss that next.
no mercy.
How about this? The Browns cleaned house yesterday, firing Hugh Jackson and offensive coordinator Todd Haley. They've lost 3 straight. The offense has struggled. Adding more fuel to the fire, reports say Baker Mayfield, quote, is not going to exactly miss Hugh Jackson. Shannon, what does this tell you?
If this report is true that Baker is not going to definitely miss, maybe it rubbed him the wrong way. I get, he walked on at Texas Tech, earned the starting job. He walked on at Oklahoma, earned the starting job. But when you're the first pick in the draft, you're not a walk-on. And maybe he thought he should have been installed as the starter from day one, and maybe it rubbed him the wrong way that Hugh, it could be viewed as Hugh embarrassed or humiliated him by saying he had earned the backup job. For whatever the case may be, maybe that rubbed Baker Mayfield the wrong way. But it appears to me that Jimmy Haslam and John Dorsey placed the offensive struggle, the blame of this football team at the feet of Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley. Both of these guys are supposed to be offensive minds, and they're struggling. It's no coincidence that Greg Williams was named defensive coordinator because they lead the league in takeaways. And the defense, for the most part, Skip, has played very, very well. And so I'm not surprised. I think at some point, you and I, we were trying to debate before the season started, how many games does Hugh last? I think I was somewhere around 8, and everything was going to be predicated on them getting off to a good start. Well, clearly that didn't happen, and the owner, Jimmy Haslam, felt that they should have been better than what they were. Skip, now you're going to have a guy that's never called plays in the NFL calling plays for Baker Mayfield. Now, maybe you do keep some continuity because he's still going to hear the same verbiage. It's still going to be the same offense. But I think this is a step back. I mean, it's hard for me to believe that Baker Mayfield's going to get better without having Todd Haley, who's been in his ear from minicamp, OTAs, training camp in the first 7-8 games of the season. But if this is the move, it's shocking to me that after 1-15, you know what? Hugh can turn this thing around. 0-16, Hugh's the guy that can turn this thing around. But at 2-5-1, Hugh, you stink. I just don't get the time. It's not like if you take away the Chargers game and the Pittsburgh game. Skip, they played tough, and they were in every single game. And as you mentioned, LeBron could have won those other 5 they lost. Cleveland really could be 5-2.
Yeah, except for the Chargers. I thought
the Chargers got beat, and maybe the Steelers, this last Steelers game. But they did. They got robbed. Let's be honest. The Raiders should have no wins, and Cleveland should have one more win. So maybe if it's 3-4-1, they don't make this decision. Who knows? Who knows if the guy doesn't miss 2 field goals and 2 PATs? Maybe if he kicks the 47 yards, regulation, we're not having this conversation. We're having the conversation. Hugh didn't get it done. It's as simple as that, Skip. You can't be 3 and whatever and then say, man, I got a bum rap because you really didn't.
Yep. So back to your first point. You'll remember at our pre-show meeting that morning after that fateful Hard Knocks episode, I came in just like out of my mind about what I had just seen, and we requested from HBO, could we get this clip so that we could play it on Undisputed, and we got it, and we played it. And I sat right here in this seat the next morning and I said, Baker Mayfield cannot love what just happened to him because that's being shown up. And to use your word, I think it humiliated him. He didn't let on and he played it straight and he said all the right things and he went through the charade because it was a made-for-TV charade that Hugh Jackson would call in Baker Mayfield and Drew Stanton, the third-string quarterback, and apprise them, inform them with the big announcement, Baker, you've won the backup quarterback. He's the first overall pick in the draft. What are you doing?
I never even heard somebody being named the number 2 quarterback.
I haven't either. And I'm thinking, well, Hugh, what are you doing? Again, I'm going to say it one last time. I have defended and supported Hugh for years on national TV because he can really call plays. He was a tremendous offensive coordinator, and I hope he lands perfectly with a quarterback who connects with him, and he has success in this league.
Right.
Because he's had it before in Cincinnati. But in this case, I felt like he got swept up in the egomania that can be detonated by Hard Knocks because he was vying for control and for airtime with both of his coordinators, who both have big personalities, and they were both former head coaches, and all of a sudden, that degenerated into Hugh Jackson versus Todd Haley, and it carried right over into the regular season. And I liked what Jimmy Haslam did yesterday because we had at the very end of our show that Hugh had been fired.
Right.
We didn't know the other cleat hadn't dropped yet because Todd Haley was about to be fired.
Correct.
So Jimmy Haslam said, I'm not going to pick a side in this battle. I'm going to fire both of them. And he said, we will not tolerate discord. Well, I buy that. That's nice.
But you tolerated it for at least an extended period of time. Because this just didn't happen this week.
No, it started right there. And I think Hard Knocks did this team in a lot of ways. It did in the coaching staff because it's the HBO crew's looking for big personalities, that Bob Wiley, and they're trying to make stars out of the coordinator.
And that, Skip, I think it's really unfair because it used to be, because when it first started in 2001, Brian Billick and Ozzie, they volunteered.
Yeah.
Now
you were there.
Yeah, we were the first ones. But we were a veteran ball club, myself and Goose and
You could
Ray.
handle it. It didn't change your life.
No. And we were who we were. We weren't trying to put on and do things. This is what we would normally do with no cameras around. But Skip, I think it's unfair for a team that the NFL says, okay, you're going to be in Hard Knocks this year. Come on. I mean, what do you, especially this team. I mean, and then and plus.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
we all watched it.
It gives you an inside glimpse to the casual fans of what it's like a normal, mundane, routine day in the life of an NFL player, especially one trying to make a team. So it gives you an inside glimpse of what it's like, Skip. It gives you, and also some backs behind what coaches, you see the coaches meeting and the GM and John Dorsey and what he's thinking. This guy's this, and he's number one on the depth chart.
Did you like the Jarvis Landry tirade?
Yeah.
I liked it. Has he been able to back it up through the regulars? Not so far.
Not really.
To me.
Skip. Jarvis Landry is what he is. He's a guy that's going to catch a lot of balls. He's gritty, but he's not a big play receiver.
He's not, and he didn't have a great burst.
No.
You know, he's not going to run after catch. Not going to run by people.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well,
so,
interesting.
But I don't think anybody's surprised by this, Skip. I don't think anybody. I'm probably saying like, what took so long?
Yeah, I know. So do I love it for Baker Mayfield right now? I do not. Do I like it for him going forward into next year? Sure, I do. But the next question is, who?
Yeah.
Could it be our man, Lincoln Riley at the University of Oklahoma, who is the best play caller I've seen in a while in college football? He can really call it, and it's hard for the head coach to call plays. I know Andy Reid does it, I know Doug Peterson does it, but it's a lot of responsibility to do both jobs, to do big picture and little picture or play to play. Lincoln Riley can do it. I think he's a better coordinator maybe than being the overall CEO type, but he's doing a great job at Oklahoma. Is there any? Now, he had a very honest answer yesterday at his media session. He just said, not right now, but he said, I'm always trying to be truthful with you, with the media, where he just said, I'm putting words in, I'm just paraphrasing, but he said, I can't rule it out tomorrow, the next day, because who knows what could happen.
Right.
Well, let's do the hypothetical. If you're Lincoln Riley, do you really want to go to Cleveland next year and rejoin Baker Mayfield? I don't think you do.
I don't think so either. Because at the end of the day, Skip, although it'd be a great luxury to be a head coach, because, some coaches have aspirations of, let me see if I can do that at the highest level. Now, you get the Tom Osbornes and the Joe Paternos, rest his soul, and some old school, and Bobby Bowden, Coach Bowden, they're perfect intent. 20, 30, 40 years, a few locations, Skip, and they're good at the college level. But then you get a guy like a Jimmy Johnson, and you get some of these other guys like, Coach Saban. Let me see if I can I want to see if I can do it on the grandest stages. But
I don't think Lincoln's finished with college football yet.
I don't either.
But I want to win, Skip. Is that a situation that I can go to and win? I mean, you got to.
No, I don't know.
I didn't get the sense. It's funny this happened. We talked to him about it in person on Saturday, and his answer was genuine. It's the same as what he said yesterday to the media, but he said, I'm not done yet. I don't get the sense that he wants to leave Oklahoma right now. He's got 2 young girls. He's from a small town. He and his wife, they've got a good thing going, and I truly didn't get any sense that
I hope he ain't planning on winning the national championship. Because Coach Saban ain't going nowhere. Oh, St. Nick ain't going nowhere. That thing on the Alabama Invitational about to kick off again. So is that what he waiting for? Is he waiting for Coach Saban to leave? Because if Coach Saban said he's going to be there for a minute.
If they did meet in the postseason, it would probably be 100-99 would be the score.
I guarantee Coach Saban they ain't getting no 100. Not with OTT on tour. Oh, he gonna get the high. Oh,
I'm saying Alabama would win 100-99.
No, Alabama would win 100 to say like 50. We'll give him 50. We'll give him a 50 piece.
When did you become such a Bama guy?
Yeah, he jumps. It's a
No.
bandwagon.
Skip, why would you do that?
Getting a little too much over here, though.
So here's the bottom line for Lincoln Riley.
Okay.
Kyler Murray has another year of eligibility left, but he signed. He got what was it, $4 million to sign with the
Five.
Oakland?
Four,
Five.
six?
Something,
Yeah, four, yeah,
five.
yeah.
Say
Yeah,
$5 million.
a lot.
So is in your wildest dreams, would you give the money back because you decide you want to play pro football? I don't know.
But guess who else has another year of eligibility?
He does.
OTT. Oh, Tua Tagovailoa.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. You're going to.
Coach Saban got like 8 years left.
He's not planning on going anywhere. What about LeBron, though? Is he already a bit mad at his new teammates? Well, he was
No.
a bit mad
Here we
last
go.
night. We're going to discuss with
He's
Chris
upset.
Broussard next.
No mercy.
Well, the Lakers were visiting my home in Minnesota last night to play the Wolves. LeBron had a good all-around game, 29 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Once again, it came down to the wire for the Lakers. LeBron made a layup with just over a minute left to cut the lead to 2, but then Kyle Kuzma got his three-point attempt blocked. The Lakers lost by 4, and that dropped them to a disappointing 2-5 this season. Let's take a listen to, a frustrated LeBron after the game.
Well, we got to get better. We know that. We talk about patience, but we can't have reoccurrence of the same thing. I think if you doing the same things over and over and over and expecting a different result, then that's insanity. So we have to we have to continue. We have to get better. We can't keep having the same mistakes over and over.
Preaching patience this whole year. At what point does that patience run out, and what do you look like as a leader when your patience does run out?
You probably don't want to be around when my patience run out. I'm serious.
All right, FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard joining us this morning.
Right.
So some comments there.
You see him over there, Chris?
I know, he's loving it, eating it up.
My patience just ran out.
Yeah, I was going to say, all right, what do you make of those comments, Chris?
Well, first of all, I think it's good for LeBron to be frustrated. If he were fine with this, hey, we'll be all right, it's a long season, we young, then a lot of people would be looking at him like, see, he didn't come here to play basketball. He came here to be in Hollywood. He came here to be a business mogul. He's retired and just playing out the string. So he's showing he still cares, number one.
Yes.
Number two, the great ones are never patient. You remember Michael Jordan, second year. He came back from foot injury, played 18 games. The ownership and management wanted to sit him so they didn't make the playoffs and get a better pick. Jordan was like, no way.
Yeah.
When he was in Washington, Skip, you know this, and I was in that locker room many times.
Yeah.
Players who grew up idolizing Michael Jordan, poster on their wall, hated him. The great ones are Magic Johnson, second or third year in the league, when Paul Westhead wanted to do a different offense that didn't let him play his game, he said, it's him or it's me.
Correct.
And he got fired. It was magic. So the great ones are not patient. I think LeBron is self-aware enough to know, I don't think he's pointing the finger at the players, Luke. He understands he's played well, but not up to his standards. He missed the free throws against San Antonio.
Yep.
He made the turnover last night. I think he's self-aware enough to know this is all of us right now. And finally, here's the thing. LeBron doesn't have the trump card anymore. In Cleveland, he always had the trump card. 1 year deals, I can split if I don't like what's going on. He's locked in for 4 years.
Shannon says he could just talk his way right out of Hollywood if he wanted to. If he got sick.
But I don't think he'll do that.
It wouldn't be a good look, though.
Right.
That's the thing. And we know LeBron, his image and all that is important to him. It wouldn't be a good look. Look, if Magic and Rob Pelinka want to let LeBron dictate things, roster, coach, whatever, they can. But they don't have to. They could be like Pat Riley and say, this is the way we're doing it, and that's that. And because if LeBron acts up, sulks, doesn't play well, whatever, that just makes him look bad.
Right.
It doesn't, you know what I mean?
Where he is now, he can't afford to talk himself and says, I want to leave the Lakers. He's pretty much the image that he's repaired the decision.
Right.
He's kind of repaired that, Skip. It's been such a long time. We're so far removed from that. We've kind of okay, that's the only thing. He can't overcome this. I wrote it down. A mistake repeated more than once is a decision. And what LeBron seems to be talking about to me is that we keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Now, we talk about this in practice. We talk about it in film study. We do it again in the huddle. And then when we get out on the floor, it's the same mistake again. Either we're doing either I'm doing and Coach Walton's doing a poor job of instructing it, or you're just not listening. I don't know which it is, but we need to fix this. Now, look, at the end of the day, of course, you have patience, but I want to win. I'm here to win, Skip Bayless. I'm not trying to be Michael Jordan. I'm not even Michael B. Jordan. I'm not even trying to be Michael J. Jordan because I'm already past both of them. But anyway, because I already know how you gonna do this.
I don't think you believe that even.
I
don't know.
He go get us a title. Yeah. Get a title, it's over. But anyway, Skip Bayless, of course he's frustrated. The man is used to winning. Yeah. And all of a sudden he's losing these games like this. But once Luke, this thing crystallized itself again because we're here now. Ingram's back. Rondo's back. There are no more suspensions. So we can't have the luxury, well, that would be B.I. or that would be Rondo. No, they're back now.
That may be the problem.
Maybe. You might have to get off with a couple of people.
When you have like 10 or 11 guys that should play,
they're all
and about
seven
of them, seven of them on the same level.
I know.
It's tough.
Yes.
It is tough.
This is the toughest team to coach I've ever seen. So I pity Luke sitting on that seat that's going to get hotter and hotter.
Oh, yes.
Because these are hard buttons to push, especially in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
So the good news here is they were in position to win all 5 of the games they lost. They have not been blown out one single time. That's tribute. That's tribute to the whole group because they have all played in stretches. Everybody on that roster has played except Beasley, and I don't know where he went last night. He missed the game for personal reasons. I don't know if he's just bagging it. He's just saying, well, I don't play anyway.
Right.
Who will miss me? History of that. Yeah.
I don't get the game. They won't even know I'm here. I'm not here.
Everybody but him has had stretches of really high-level play to me
Yeah.
where I've been surprised by how the team plays together, how hard it plays on defense. I think they've shot the 3 much better than I thought they could. They're still not great, but
Last
they made
night,
12.
They're getting better, yeah.
Okay? Those are all big positives that shock me. But this team 5 times put the best player on the planet, according to him, quotes around it, but the best player on the planet in positions to close games. He hasn't closed. 5 times he hasn't closed. And I don't know who the closer is. Maybe it's not LeBron. Maybe you need to find somebody else. But just to reiterate, remind everybody, they're down 1 at Portland with 8 minutes left. Then at home against Houston in the brawl game, they're down 1 with 4:13 left when the brawl ensued. Close it, King. It should be your game. San Antonio, you're up 6 in overtime with 55 seconds left. And again, he missed the 2 free throws, but you just got to close the deal. But however you got to do it, just do it. At San Antonio, you're down 1 late in the game. You let DeMar DeRozan take over the game. And I've never been a big DeMar fan, but so far he's been closing like crazy for the Spurs. He's played great. He's played at a very high level.
But I know who he hadn't played better than.
No, he has.
No. Oh, Kawhi!
Yeah. Kawhi, who's already missed 2 games. He's already missed 2 games at a very early young season here. Resting early?
Yes.
My quad hurts. I can't play back-to-back. You can't play back-to-back.
He's going to give you 35 tonight or tomorrow when they play again.
Well, he'd probably give you 40 against LeBron because they're going to play, when is it, Saturday? I think they play.
That Toronto team is legit.
Woo. So the point is that last night at Minnesota, it's a teeter-totter game. It goes back and forth. Lakers were up 2 with 6:49 left, and then they're down 2 with just under a minute left. And Karl Anthony Towns finally missed a shot, and Kuzma gets the rebound, and he gives it to LeBron, and LeBron plays point guard as he should and brings the ball up the floor. This is his turn. This is his time. This is where you take over a game. There's not even an Andrew Wiggins on it. He's out right now.
Right.
And
probably why they won.
Show it one more time. So LeBron dribbles the ball, and he gets the pick from Brandon Ingram, and you just got to take this shot. You got to draw. Here he is. He gets the pick. You just got to go. Go. Now go. Just take him. Take Jimmy Butler. You made a big shot over him last year at Cleveland to win the game. Take that shot. Take it. Instead, it's a desperation into the clock pass to Kuzma, he's like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do?
Well, he threw that pass because he's wondering why Kuzma is standing in the corner anyway. Okay. Kuzma's supposed to have been there 3 seconds earlier.
Okay, but whatever. It's up to LeBron. The kids are just looking to him to close. Right. And then I'm going to say this one more time. We thought when Rondo came back that Lonzo had earned starters minutes. He didn't get starters minutes, and he got 3:36 in the fourth quarter last night, and Rondo played 12 minutes, played the whole fourth quarter. And Lance Stevenson, every time he has stepped on the floor for them, has been microwave. He's just heated it up.
Lance a lot be giving it to him. You start dancing on
instant offense. Okay, why he played 0 in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
He saved them against Denver. They were down 8 with 6:55 left when LeBron went to the bench, and Lance scored 8 straight points, and all of a sudden it's tied.
But you
got to let him play some, right?
It's a legitimate question. Look, Luke Walton was in the same draft as LeBron, right? Mm-hmm. He's a contemporary with Rondo. These are guys that obviously way better than him, and just Rondo. Not even forget LeBron.
Yeah.
Can he? I mean, a lot of these coaches, probably most of them, were just mediocre pro players.
Yes.
Yeah.
But typically, they're like, the players they're coaching didn't play in there against them.
Right. Yeah.
Didn't play in there. Phil Jackson wasn't anything special.
No.
But by the time he started coaching, the guys didn't really remember him as a player.
No,
you know what I mean? Like, does Luke have the guts, fortitude, whatever, to tell Rondo?
I don't know.
I'm going with Lonzo right now. I'm not saying he does it. I'm just saying it's a legitimate
Rondo is
question.
an old school point guard. He's a pick and roll point guard, old school, play with the big. You playing pick and roll with with KG, playing pick and roll with Paul Pierce. In today's game, you get the thing and get to the 3-point shooters.
Okay, but Rondo made 3 driving shots last night in the fourth quarter up off the glass.
Yeah,
I'm saying, wow, that was pretty impressive. So I give you that. But what happened at the end of the game? There's no Lonzo to guard Jimmy Butler. Lonzo's 6'7", Jimmy Butler's 6'8". Rondo's maybe 6'1". I think he's more like 6-ish.
Yeah.
So he winds up on Jimmy Butler, and it's still a 2-point game. And what happens? Jimmy just rises up over him and drains the dagger.
Jimmy was hot. I'm not so sure anybody was stopping that. But you know what these young Lakers are finding out? Like last year wasn't like this. You got LeBron on your teammate. Now, everybody going to get up to play you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, because guess what? Everybody watching.
Well, you know what else? LeBron, this may be tougher than he expected. Look, the 2-5 start, we knew it would be a tough start. He went to Miami, it was tough.
20.
He went to Cleveland, it was tough. But in Miami, you had Wade and Bosh. Wade's a superstar on your level.
And
Bosh is a perennial
player.
all-star. They could help you carry the burden.
They could.
In Cleveland, you still had Kyrie and Love, but you also were in the East.
Right.
Nothing was scary in the East. Seeding didn't matter. None of their regular seasons were as good as they really could have been record-wise.
Or should have been.
Because you knew it did. And the teams in the East, there was this aura LeBron had where we saw it with Toronto. They were just pretty much scared of him.
They were.
Now you're facing a monster just about every night. And who can he go to in that locker room? I know Rondo's a veteran and won a championship. But he really he doesn't have anybody he can look at in that locker room and just carry the burden with him. So this is tough. Might be tougher than LeBron expected.
All right. Well, we knew it wouldn't be easy, but boy, he's going to want to turn this thing around.
Yeah, you ain't gonna nobody explode. Nobody is exploding.
He's got this little grin over here.
No, that's what he's hoping. It's not going to happen. LeBron ain't gonna give you that kind of.
Chris, thank you for being here.
Have another glass of vino, Bron.
Yeah. Have another cigar.
Only healthy for him. All right. Yesterday, Ty Montgomery somewhat apologized for his fumble at the end of Sunday's game. Do Skip and Shannon buy it? We'll tell you next.
No mercy.
Well, Ty Montgomery had a moment he'd like to forget late in Sunday's game against the Rams, but we haven't forgotten. He took the ball out of the end zone on the kickoff, fumbled, even though he was reportedly told to take a knee. There were also reports that Montgomery was upset earlier in the fourth quarter for being taken out of the game. Yesterday, he explained the situation. Let's hear it.
Said the same thing he always says, call the return. If it's in the end zone, keep it in the end zone. At that point in time, I stood where I always stood. I had a returnable ball, so I made a split-second decision on, I don't know if this is going to land on the goal line. So I'm not going to take a knee on the goal line at the half-yard line and take a chance at putting the game in the ref's hands. Unfortunately, I ended up fumbling the football. I don't think we'd be having this conversation if I didn't fumble the football because we know how good our 2-minute offense is. But I've never been a guy to completely disobey what I'm being told. I think you can ask a lot of guys around the locker room. That's not what I do. It's not the kind of man I am. It's not the kind of person I am.
All right, Shannon. Do you like that explanation? Do you buy it?
Nope. I do not buy it, Skip Bayless. I believe he got frustrated, and I believe he tried to take it into his own hands. He said, Why would he do that? Because he knew how good his 2-minute offense is. Exactly. You came forward. If you just stand stationary, the way they tell you to feel, did a little bit, Skip. I wasn't a returner, but I did, my younger days. You always catch the ball with your momentum coming forward.
Sure.
If Ty Montgomery just stands there with the anticipation of taking a knee, the ball is in the end zone. It was his momentum coming forward, which left the indecision. Am I going to be on the half-yard line? Am I going to be on the 1-yard line? But if he stands stationary, the ball's going to hit him in his chest. He takes a knee into the end zone. He let him not playing, or him not playing but 6 plays, him being taken out on the series, he let that cloud his judgment. Because for a split second there, he's like, well, I don't want to put the game in the official's hand. Nah, you did on one better. You put it in the Rams' hand. That's what you did do. And then he upset back, he didn't say, but, he feel bad because his teammates, he don't know who he can trust. Your teammates are saying the exact same thing about you. They don't know if they can trust you. Skip, there are a lot of times I thought I should have had more passes than what I had, and they call a route. I wanted to run a different route I thought I could get open on. But if they call a route, I run the wrong route. John throws the ball. Huh? Why would I do that? I get it. You get frustrated sometimes, Skip. Man, look here. When you play this sport, you got to be real patient, unless you're the quarterback, because you're the only one that touches the ball on every play. There have been times that I wanted the ball, and I thought I deserved the ball, but I didn't get the ball, Skip. But it never. Let me take that back. I did. One time I did. I switched positions with Reggie Rivers because, Skip, I wanted 1,000 yards. Had 995 at the half, and they were throwing the pass. They would put me at the tight end and put our wing, Reggie Rivers, and he was catching the pass. So that was the only time, Skip Bayless. That was the only time, I swear it was.
He'd miss.
But in a situation like this, Skip, why? You got Aaron Rodgers. Just take the ball. And then after the game, Skip, you know what you do? You have a conversation with your offensive coordinator, or you have a conversation with Mike McCarthy, and you ask them, why didn't I play more? Or why did you take me out in this series? You don't do what you did because the coaches, I told you play for coaches' trust. The coaches got to be able to trust you, Skip, in any situation. Not just when you're winning, not just when you're playing 35 snaps or 40 snaps. What happens when you play 3 or 4 snaps? Do you let your emotions get the best of you? And I believe he let his emotions get the best of him. He wasn't played as much as he thought he did, should have been played. He let him being taken out on the series when he didn't think it was his fault. I think he let that cloud his judgment, Skip, and it put his team in jeopardy. And this is the result of it.
And I think you are blinded by your love and adoration for Aaron Rodgers. And I think you, like Aaron, are throwing this young man under your bus and running over him, backing up and running over him again the next day.
Did he do it?
I really liked what he said. These were deep, powerful comments that went on for about a half hour at his locker, and he unloaded. He wouldn't talk to the media after the game. Which
Why
I
not?
Well, I don't respect
Why
that.
not?
I guess he was.
Oh, so you have to so you have to take time to get your thoughts together to make sure.
And then he unloaded on everybody. And he was adamant about the fact that he did not disobey an order. So somebody's not telling the truth here.
No,
he said I'm going to quote him again. We just heard him say, a return was called. That means that it's to the left or the right or up the middle or whatever they're going to call wherever he's supposed to go with the football after he catches it and leaves the end zone. And he said, we were told if it's in the end zone, stay in the end zone. Well, obviously, that's what you do.
Okay, with the ball in the end zone.
Okay.
Was it in the end zone?
No, the ball was going to hit barely inside the goal line. So to your point,
the end zone.
If the kicker just hammers it 5 yards deep, obviously you have no momentum because you have to just stand and catch the ball. Well, then clearly the decision is taken completely out of anybody's hands, especially yours. But when the ball is falling toward the end line there, the end zone line, he caught it on the move, and all of a sudden you're teetering on the edge of the cliff. It'd be pretty hard. You'd have to really have it locked in your head. I'm going to teeter to the edge of the end zone, and I'm going to hold up and hold on and not step across.
Why
I'm not going to step across.
I just want to know why you're coming forward.
You have to come forward to catch the football.
No.
You start midway back in the end zone.
The ball is 2 yards deep in the end zone.
It's not 2 yards deep. Can we see it again?
Yeah.
Please? It's going to fall barely. It's coming straight down.
Yeah.
It's barely going to cross the goal
Look
line.
at this. Look where he's at.
Nope. There he caught it. You know
he
what?
caught it.
You know what?
Exactly.
That ball he caught right above the goal line.
Oh,
He's standing over the goal line when he catches the football.
As long as his body's in the end zone,
Hey,
who cares?
You should know. You know. The split-second decision-making here is it's a high wire act because you got to.
He went to Stanford, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
he
little
went to
Savannah State.
Stanford,
My
and
little
he
Savannah
said-
State education know to stay in the end
I'm
zone.
going to quote him. He said, "I did not want to put the game in the referee's hands because you might if you."
He did.
If you barely step a little toe on the edge of that.
Did you see
goal
the
line.
Did you see the officials did? The officials started pointing this way. He did put it in their hands because he fumbled the ball. He put it in the official hands.
Yeah.
Oh, don't do that, Skip Bayless. What you try to do? See, now let this happen to Tom Brady. Because, see, this is what you did. You blame everything in the Super Bowl on Coach Belichick.
Yeah.
Oh, Coach Belichick defense gave up 41 points.
I appreciate you bringing up Tom Brady because Tom Brady would have never done this to a teammate. He doesn't operate
He
this
did it to
way.
Taquan Underwood.
No, he didn't. Oh, please.
Oh!
Yeah, he blamed it for the loss.
No!
Blamed it for the
he
loss.
blamed Taquan Underwood for what, Skip
When
Bayless?
was it, in 2011? What are we, like 7 years
What
later?
we do, Skip,
It's
here
all you got.
is
You're
that we-
hanging on to
No.
He was cut 2 games later.
So now,
Taquan Underwood.
You see what he did, Jenny?
I didn't
Now
do
because the
anything.
guy was cut, it makes his argument less valid because Tom Brady showed him up. And what did old Bill O'Brien, and didn't he get it? Didn't old Bill O'Brien say, you sit your butt down
And
before I
Tom
make
Brady
change?
told him to sit his
No,
butt down.
and Bill said, you want some of this? Tom said, no.
Yeah. And Bill O'Brien is still afloat because of Tom
No,
Brady.
he's in Houston, Texas. He's won division titles that had nothing to do with Tom Brady. Now, stop it. Now, Tom might have got him a job, but Tom isn't the reason he's keeping
got
the
him a
job.
So the point is that Ty Montgomery got Aaron Rodgered. That's what happened.
my
At the end
goodness.
of that game, Aaron Rodgers clearly threw him way under the bus.
shoulda.
And then the bus driver became Michael Silver of NFL.com, and they backed over him and over him again and again and again. And
Hold on, how you gonna throw Silver up under the bus?
I'm not.
You
he
been
was
a
just the messenger.
right,
I'm
because you
not
did
killing the messenger.
That's what you did. Wouldn't you report sources?
Yeah. So I loved what Ty Montgomery said. We talk about being brothers. We talk about being family and keeping things in-house. That's not what happened.
Oh, so now you want us to be brothers. When they tell you if the ball's in the end zone, you keep it there. Now you want us to be brothers when we looking at you side-eyed. I wish I might be your brother. Yeah, I want to be your brother, hit you upside your head.
Now,
How about that for a brother?
He's unloading about having to deal with false accusations about my character, perceptions about my character. I've never been one to throw any teammate under the bus, but boy, they're throwing him under the bus. And as you pointed out, he concluded that it's tough for me to trust anyone in here now.
I said, they feel the same way about you, Ty. Trust me. Having been in the locker room, I feel that I would have felt the exact same way. You can't trust us, we can't trust you unless things go in Ty Montgomery's way.
So, do you believe that Mike McCarthy ordered Ty Montgomery to take a knee?
Did he order the code red? No. Here's the thing. I believe he said, if the ball is in the end zone, you leave it there.
Well, wouldn't you say that on every kickoff?
No.
Well,
some guys look at Patterson. Patterson taking the ball 6 yards deep. He coming with it. Coach, look at how many times have you taken a knee?
So hard anymore. It's
No.
just so hard. They're kicking off so close. The ball's going so deep in the end zone.
Look at Patterson.
You know what? He got a terrible break because most of the kickoffs are going to fly deep in the end zone, right? Especially from that Rams kicker.
That's what you want to happen.
I know.
You want to put it just deep enough so he have to make a split-second decision because what we want him to do is run it out so that way we're going to take one of these timeouts away because he's on the other side of the 2-minute warning. Because see, if he leave it there, Aaron Rodgers is going to get a play and the 2-minute warning, which is the timeout, and now he still has 140 plus with another timeout. So that's what we want you to do, Skip.
Yep.
We want you to make a split-second decision, but we want it to be wrong. And guess what they got? They got exactly what they were hoping for. Put a man to the test.
How would you have liked it if he had teetered and his toe had just stepped on the white line and then he'd taken a knee? Would you like that?
His body is in the end zone. I don't care where he catches the ball. He could have caught the ball at the 10. As long as he take a knee in the end zone, Jenny, pull it back like Stretch Armstrong.
Remember, this isn't college football because in college you can just wave your hand anywhere you want on the kickoff and say, I'm going to fair catch this.
You can fair catch a kickoff in the NFL. Yeah, you can.
But in the end zone, you could just wave and say, I'm out.
Oh, no. Oh, Ty Montgomery, sole intentions. His body told me, I'm bringing this out. Whether it was, obviously, if it's 8 yards deep, but anything's close. Skip, he's trying to make a play. I get it. He's frustrated.
They called a return.
Skip, they call a return on every play, on every kickoff return.
Not if you ordered a man to take a knee, you wouldn't call a return.
Skip,
would you?
Skip, here's the thing. We call a left return. We call a right return. We call middle way. We call a lot of returns. But also, if the ball is deep, you leave it in.
Was it deep? Nope. Nope.
Skip, at some point in time, Skip, you know, Thomas Paine once said, common sense is so uncommon. We understand, Skip Bayless, it wasn't 10 yards deep. But in that situation, what did you hope? You stood to lose more than you could possibly ever gain.
In that situation, any special teams coach would tell you the kick returner did exactly what he should have done.
I bet you would.
Take the ball out.
No.
Yep.
Not in that situation, Skip, you're down 2.
In a vacuum, if you just showed that tape, you don't know the situation, you'd say that kick returner.
Well, no, you got to know the situation because he knew the situation.
No.
You take if it's the first quarter, it's something different. If it's third or second quarter.
Yep.
But with 2 minutes and 6 seconds left, no, you can't show it in a vacuum. You got to let them know.
If he hadn't fumbled, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
No, if he hadn't fumbled, maybe we're not having this conversation, but it still would have been the wrong decision. You can do the right thing and it be wrong. Skip Bayless, let
Aaron
me tell you.
Rodgers is so great, even if he had to start at the 20 versus the 25, what would it matter?
No, he didn't get a chance to start. The fact of the matter is he's supposed to start at the 25-yard line on the other side of 2 minutes. On the other side, Skip. It was the wrong decision.
He's so great, he could have pulled that.
Don't do that, Skip.
Tom Brady could have pulled that.
Well, he didn't do it in Super Bowl 51.
You know what? Aaron Rodgers gets a chance to right the wrong on Sunday in Foxborough. Right the wrong.
Why didn't he pull out that in Super Bowl 52?
He threw the most beautiful
you guys.
Hail Mary I've ever seen. Hit Gronk right.
She wasn't home. She was at church that day.
We're leaving it here. The Cowboys made a major move yesterday.
Yep.
We will tell you about it.
We go.
No mercy.
The Cowboys made an interesting coaching move yesterday, firing offensive line coach Paul Alexander about 9 months after they hired him. The Cowboys are 4th in the league in rushing, but they're 29th in passing. They just finished their bye week. Now they'll face Tennessee on Monday night. Skip.
Yes.
Is this move a big deal?
It is a very big deal. Shannon Sharpe. My biggest shock through the first 7 Cowboy games, my biggest fear and disappointment has been the offensive line. It has consistently been defeated at the line of scrimmage, at the point of attack. It hasn't consistently opened holes for Ezekiel Elliott, and it, as you well know, has not consistently protected Dak Prescott. And obviously, the loss of Travis Frederick, and it sounds like now he's going to be gone for the whole year, was huge because he is the leader and the signal caller for the entire offensive line. So that's a big gaping hole. But finally, Jerry Jones again plunged and did something about this. They fired, as Jenny points out, Paul Alexander. They basically just traded offensive line coaches with the Cincinnati Bengals, but their part of the trade, quote unquote, didn't work out. So he's gone, and guess who they went out and got out of retirement? Simply the best offensive line coach I have ever encountered in my entire very long career, named Hudson Houck. He was the architect of their offensive line and through the 90s, all those. That was the greatest offensive line I was ever around, was that dynastic offensive line.
You could have coached that line, Skip.
Listen, the greatest motivator and teacher I've ever been around is Hudson Houck. Take it to the bank.
Okay.
He starred at USC in the offensive line. He coached at USC, and I was around him for those 5 years, and he is the best. But in 2012, he'd had enough, and he came back to Los Angeles and retired. That's a long time ago. He is now 75 years of age.
Wow.
So Jerry decided to ask him to come out of retirement and pair him up with 40-year-old Mark Colombo, who used to play offensive line for the Cowboys, and that they're going to be a tag team.
Got drafted by the Bears, though, didn't he?
No, he did. Well, but he wound up with Parcells and the Cowboys. So I'm pretty sure as we speak, Hudson Houck is tearing apart the game tape of the first 7 games about what went right and what went very wrong for the offensive line. And I'm going to say it again, Connor Williams, that kid they drafted out of Texas in the second round, has just been an overmatched liability at left guard, and I'm pretty sure they'll make a move. Cameron Fleming was Tom Brady's right tackle last year. I think he'll be inserted there. I think Lyle Collins will move to left guard, and they've got the bye week to make the changes. So, is Hudson Houck godsend is the answer. Well, they went out and got a great former offensive line coach, and they went out and got a potentially great number one receiver, obviously, in Amari Cooper. So I'm optimistic about this.
They're trying to be like New England. When New England lured their
They
former,
did. They got him back.
Their former
Dante Scarnecchia.
Yeah, their former offensive line coach. So let me get this straight. I'm going to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. And by the way, no, this is not going to change anything about what they just did. Ezekiel Elliott, Skip, where is he in the league in rushing as far as rushing?
I just explained what's going wrong.
Okay, he's number 2.
Yeah.
He's averaging 4.7 yards a carry. Last year, he averaged 4.1. Now, you mentioned Travis Frederick, an all-pro. He's been in the Pro Bowl basically every year he's been in the league. He's out of the lineup. Now, okay, you fire the offensive line coach. You bring in a receiver because you don't believe in the receiver. At what point in time is it someone else's fault? I ain't calling no name. I'm just asking. At what point in time do we say, you know what? We've gotten receivers. We've changed offensive line. We've changed offensive line coaches. At what point in time, Skip? I'm asking for a friend. That friend happened to be me.
Okay.
So I'm asking for me. At what point in time, Skip?
Yeah.
You can answer anytime you like.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yeah, no,
I
it's
thought
not
it was rhetorical.
No. I'm asking you because we keep placing the blame. It's on the offensive line. It's on Connor Williams. Lyle Collins is not playing well. Oh, the receivers are not getting open. We need to trade for Amari Cooper. At what point in time?
Maybe we'll start to find out right now.
Yeah.
Next Monday night.
Yeah.
Week from last night.
Yeah, because you're going to struggle. When you take out an all-pro center and you bring in his backup and you're starting a rookie at left guard, you're going to struggle. And look at the teams that they're going up against that have good interior rushers. So it puts an onus on you.
Yep.
But I don't think the offensive, come on, Skip. Now Hudson Houck is going to make that big of a difference, huh?
I think he will.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Bye week. I like it. Feels good.
What difference? What are they going to do about the quarterback? What about they going to do about the play calling?
Amari Cooper is really gifted, and they did check with St. Nick. You know, what's
he supposed to say?
Oh, he could tell the truth.
Most coaches, I have yet to hear that a coach would salt a player up. I'm sure it's happened before.
I think it's happened a lot.
But here's the thing. That could never happen to Coach Saban. Now, maybe if he retired, he could tell the truth, but he's still at Alabama. He's still at that factory. So now you go out there and say that, and it gets wind that Coach Saban said that Amari Cooper wasn't a hard worker. Or Amari Cooper, guess what, Urban Meyer? Guess what, old khaki pants? You hear what he say about his former players? That's what he thinks about you. You know all is fair in recruiting, right, Skip? So if you say something negative, if I get something on you, guess what? When I go into these parents' home, you know what? I really want to take your son to the NFL because I think he has that kind of potential. I've coached in it. Old khaki pants said, I've coached in the NFL. Now, Coach Saban, I know he's going to tell you he can get you to the NFL, but once you can't help him, he's going to turn his back on you and might say negative things about you. You heard what he said about Amari Cooper. That's how it works, yeah, Bayless.
Since we're sitting in the middle of a graveyard right now, you sound like a man who is whistling through the graveyard.
I'm just saying.
You're just whistling, hoping, trying to wish it away.
What I'm trying to wish? Yeah. Walking to him, going to take care of everything I need. I don't need. You can fire and hire whoever you want to.
The NFC East is just starting, and here come the Dallas Cowboys.
Walk it to him. Did you see what he did on Sunday?
All I know is that he's fumbled more than anybody in the league in the time he's been in the league. Whew.
All I know is he got more touchdowns than your guy, and he's missed 2 games.
Walking to him is like a slot machine. You just pull the slot down, and he goes, fumble. Fumble.
Not against the Cowboys.
Fumble. We'll just pull that arm down.
Fumble. What about your guy?
Fumble.
What about your guy, Skip?
Fumble. We got this.
Oh, you do?
We get to play Philly twice. We get to play Washington once at home. We'll be good.
Oh, you're going to be good, huh?
Yep.
Well, I mean, pretty soon Jared's going to run out of people to hire, to fire and trade for. The trade deadline is after today at 4 o'clock. He can't trade for anybody else, Skip.
Yep. I'm going to say it one last time. Howie Roseman, he's the boogeyman for the Dallas Cowboys, and if he comes to play at 4 p.m. Eastern and he brings home Patrick Peterson, I'm in trouble.
Oh, Howard T got something up his sleeve? Because you know Dougie P and Howard T don't sleep. Yeah. It's close to the trade deadline. Ain't nobody sleeping up in Philly.
Yeah. I think Dougie P's getting exposed.
And Mr. Lure, he slid him that black car. Yeah. Said, whatever you need, you go get it done.
Yep.
He said, I'm about championships.
Dougie P doesn't look so fearless to me anymore.
Yeah, don't do that, Skip. Skip, don't do that. Because the man had a job for 2 years and won a Super Bowl. Your guy been in there for what? He won his first 3 years, he was 8-8.
the backup quarterback won the Super Bowl.
Don't do that.
Your quarterback did not win the Super Bowl.
Was Dougie P the head coach? You had a starter in Tony Romo. You got a backup that's in there that's starting now in that.
Yep.
When y'all gonna win one?
Did you say he was a backup?
He was. He started as a backup. He's not a backup now, but I'm saying he started as one.
Okay. He's optimistic.
You realize your man's never even played a snap of playoff football.
I'm
snap.
trying to figure out when are we going to start rest. 1995 was a long time ago, Jenny. Jenny, do you remember what you was doing in 1995?
Yeah, I don't. I was pretty young.
1995, Skip Bayless. That's the last time.
Sorry.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah, that was a long time
He hasn't forgotten. All right, we're moving on. Is Josh Gordon already in the doghouse? We'll discuss that with Greg Jennings next.
No mercy.
Patriots blew out the Bills last night, and to everyone's surprise, Josh Gordon was on the field at the start of the game. A few hours before kickoff, there was a report that Gordon would be benched for the start of the game because he was late to a meeting last week. Bill Belichick was asked about it after the game and said, quote, "You'd have to ask whoever wrote that. I have no idea." We're joined by Fox NFL analyst Greg Jennings. Thank you for being here this morning. But Shannon, I'm going to start with you here. What on earth is going on?
I don't really know if I trust Coach Belichick on this one because I remember when the Seth Wickersham article came out, Coach Belichick, Mr. Kraft, Tom Brady all released a statement. We're as united as we ever been, and we know that not to be true. Now, I believe this is true. I believe the story that Josh Gordon was tardy. And I believe in order for Coach Belichick to shoot it down, he had to play him because if he doesn't play him, Skip, now,
that's true.
So that is true. So and so Coach Belichick is going to go out of his way now to try to shoot down every story. Probably handle it internally, probably find him a little bit of money. But why should we be surprised, even if it is true? Yeah, which I believe it is true, Skip. Why be surprised that Josh Gordon showed up tardy? That was the issue. It's never been about on-field play for Josh Gordon. Cleveland got fed up with his tardiness and him not doing what he was supposed to do as far as getting back on the field. It had nothing to do with football. Clearly, you stuck by him through all these failed tests. Come on. So I'm not surprised. I believe Josh Gordon was tardy. I believe Coach Belichick, in order to keep dissension out and to try to keep the media from you signed the guy and he's already being late, is that he played him anyway and he probably fined him an undisclosed amount of money. It's hard for me to believe. Now, they didn't do this in his first week there, his second week or third week. Why all of a sudden would they pick now to say Josh Gordon was tardy? Not that he was tardy. They didn't say he missed it. So why now? So I believe that there's some truth to this statement.
Yep.
I definitely believe that there's truth to this statement. However, I would like to take this approach and say that when you're dealing with the New England Patriots, they're going to do things their way regardless of what the perception is that is out there. There were reports even on the sideline before the game. Josh Gordon isn't expected to start because whatever took place. But I believe that when you evaluate a player like Josh Gordon and you decide we're going to bring him into the fold, he requires his own disciplinary actions. Either it's going to be a full-out hammer down, or you're going to take your arm and you're going to put it around his shoulders and say, son, let's talk about this. And I think that was the approach, because if you do bench him, you don't know what you're getting after that. You don't know what that spiral effect will have. You don't know if he's going to be mentally locked in this game currently or what you're going to get thereafter, moving forward. And so I think this was a decision that was made by Bill Belichick and his staff and whomever else saying, look, I don't know if this is the right decision to make to bench him because we know that he helps us. He has been able to produce. He hasn't put up astronomical numbers, but he's been effective. When you're game planning against the New England Patriots now, you're looking at where's Josh Gordon at and how can he hurt us? And so with that being said, I think that's their approach. And everything that we've seen with the New England Patriots all offseason, with Tom Brady, with Coach Belichick, with Robert Kraft, all of these clashes that we've seen that they've put out there. The one thing that brings that team together is the game of football and winning. And so they are willing to lay aside all differences, whatever the case may be, to win football games. And I think that was the decision. Bringing Josh Gordon in, they understand he's going to help them win football games.
So, there's also another report that said Josh Gordon was late for the team bus to the airport. Of all the teams in the National Football League that would not, the coach and the quarterback who would least tolerate being late are these two, Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. So is it possible they looked the other way one time because of his track record, and maybe he just doesn't understand the Patriot way quite yet? And they said, what's your old thing about production tolerance?
Yep.
Maybe there was just enough production to overcome the
You tolerate that.
Right, that you're going to tolerate that. But I'll be the first to admit, even though I thought that Josh Gordon could be the closest thing to Randy Moss that Tom Brady has had since Randy Moss, I'm not seeing sudden anymore from Josh Gordon. I'm talking about burst.
You
I'm
don't see
talking
that
about
lift.
I don't see it. I don't see electrifying where I say, whoa, the way I did back in 2013 at Foxborough when he just put on a show for the Cleveland Browns where they just couldn't cover him. That was Hall of Fame arc that he was on. I saw a potential Hall of Famer if he could obviously beat his demons and continue to play at that level as a wide receiver. And yet, he's been, to your point, effective, and I do think he changes game plans a little bit. I was very disappointed in him, as I think Tom Brady was also, because that first deep ball, that was a good throw.
Oh, yeah.
That was a catchable ball. I don't know if we have that. We should see it. But Tom Brady will not love this one because that's, what, about 50 yards worth right there? You know, this is a nice throw, and I don't know if he lost the ball. It looks like he didn't even make a play for the ball. What are you doing?
Buffalo on a night game this time of year, it's windy. It plays tricky.
Maybe wind, yeah.
But
they said it was very windy.
But here's the thing, Skip. If everything was good, what's the reports that the Patriots are interested in Demaryius Thomas? They could possibly be interested in Golden Tate. See, the thing is, let's not get caught up. Just because he wasn't benched doesn't mean something didn't happen.
That is correct. So if they land one or both of those players, is it highly possible Josh Gordon's out?
Could be.
Yep. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Wouldn't surprise me
They
either.
just don't put up with that. And you guys know from your experiences with your teams, you can't be late for the bus. You can't be. You
know what's
can't.
happening? And for me, look, I understand that some coaches have things that are lenient, and obviously all players don't get treated the same. Because they ask Mike Shanahan, well, if a player's late, what happens? Well, we leave without him. Well, what if it's John Elway, Terrell Davis, or Shannon Sharpe? Well, we're not in a hurry. There's a different set of rules. You understand that, but Skip, Josh Gordon know what time the meeting. They didn't move the meeting. They didn't change the meeting. They didn't change the bus schedule. You get that itinerary. They says, okay, guys, this is when we're leaving. Be there.
Sharp, whatever. 10
I mean, so what? I mean, come on. And when you win, they hold you more accountable to those times. And that's, because they feel you're winning. Well, you were late. That's why we lost the game. Come on, bro. The other team didn't know I was late. I mean, so how you gonna say that's what cost us the game? But be on time. Why is your time? See, for me, I always felt you telling me your time is more important than mine. I had to get up. I had to get here on time. But your time was more important, so you figured you could sleep in an extra 10, 15 minutes. Well, nah, bro, they ain't had work. Come on, Josh, you get somebody gave you a second opportunity, and you come do this. Come on, man.
So is it possible, because Brady's been raving about Josh Gordon, that he's saying from here on I'm going to come pick you up to take you to the facility?
Man, I wish I might pick somebody up. Who?
That's not happening.
No.
That's not happening.
No, Skip, ain't no.
But you do make a really good point about the trade rumors and the interest that they have in all these other. They are looking to acquire another receiver, and it doesn't have to mean that Josh Gordon is out. But when you look at their receiving core, their room, you're not. Edelman is locked. You're looking at Patterson, Hogan. Hogan is a lock because he's consistent. You know what you're going to get.
Yeah, you do.
He's reliable and he's consistent. So you can't replace him with somebody that you're bringing in that's going to have to then learn the offense, and then you're saying we trust Josh Gordon more than you. That's not the case.
Well, what if they're saying, look, we got Josh and we think, but what happens if?
Exactly. I think that's their approach. We don't look. Yes, we'll bring this on, and if it works out, high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, we didn't lose anything. We
got a fallback plan.
We got a fallback plan.
I just can't believe Bill Belichick would just say, I'm going to squash this I'm just going to play.
I'm gonna let this one slide. This one's on me. The next one's on you.
See, I don't necessarily think that he wouldn't, because we've seen Bill Belichick wants to be right. Like, that is his MO. Look at the Malcolm Butler situation. He is the only coach and the only organization that we.
And you said, see, I was right, because Malcolm Butler doesn't start in Tennessee.
Thank
He
you.
gets toasted. See, I told y'all.
And so this is a guy that has extreme ego, and we know it.
You don't win that much without having
No.
ego. No matter what the sport, no matter what you play, coach, of course, Tom Brady, everybody, it doesn't matter. When you win as much as they've won, Skip, you know you want to be right. I got to be right.
Yep.
And see, he was right, Skip. Malcolm, that's why he didn't play him.
Gave up 41
He said
points
we'd
to
have played
Nick Foles.
He said if we'd have played Malcolm, we'd have gave
Hey.
up 51. That's what he said.
Eric Rowe? Really?
He rolled the dice and thought that we could pull this game out without Malcolm Butler,
Yeah, way to go.
and it didn't.
No, Skip, stop it,
Go.
Skip.
41?
He'd have gave up 61.
You're not going to forget 41.
I'm not.
Greg, good stuff. Thank you for being here. Is it time for the Giants to bench Eli or trade Odell? Maybe one more than the other, but we'll discuss next.
No mercy.
All right, if anyone needs a break, it is the 1-7 Giants who have a bye this week. Pat Shurmur was asked yesterday if Eli Manning will stay as the starter and said, quote, "We'll see." At this point, Eli's our QB, and we're looking at all ways to improve. One of those ways could be making a huge move and trading Odell Beckham Jr. Jay Glazer reported Sunday that teams have called about Odell and have come with some, quote, decent offers. The trade deadline is today at 4 Eastern. Shannon, what should the Giants do with Eli and Odell?
For Eli, Skip, it's time to look, the offensive line isn't very good, and Eli's become gun shy. He's not willing to stand in there and look down the barrel. Let's find out whether or not one of these two young guys can play. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen until they're mathematically eliminated, because as you can see, the NFC East is still right there. They say we get on a hot streak, which they haven't been on a hot streak in a number of years. I don't know what makes them think they can get on a hot streak, but that's neither here. Let's set this aside. Let's just say, I believe they should go to one of these young guys. Let's find out if they can play, because if they can't, we need to go into the draft next year, Skip, and we got to get us a quarterback.
Yep.
And so that's where they are on Eli. Eli hadn't been good for a very long time, and we need to stop. Well, Eli, you see Eli numbers? Scott, come on. Odell is making catches over his shoulders that he shouldn't even be catching, and making Eli look better than what he actually is. As far as Odell, Skip, I would call the Raiders. Y'all got 5 first-round picks over the next 2 years. Y'all traded Amari Cooper. This guy's more dynamic than Amari. Give us one of those first-rounders in a third, or first and a second, and you can have him.
Yeah.
Skip, it's time to move on. Because here's the thing, and I get a lot of people on my timeline saying Odell isn't the problem. You're absolutely right. He isn't the problem why they're losing, but he damn sure isn't the solution why they're winning. And so guess what I can do? I can be 1-5 without him, and without the headache. Because clearly, he doesn't want to be, well, I don't know if I want to be here. This is where I'm at. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have taken the Giants' money. You should have told John Mara, you should have told the Tisches, you know what, guys, I'm not happy here. Why don't y'all go and try to move me and let me go, going about my way? And hey, you don't like New York, maybe he'll like Vegas in a couple of years. Who knows? Maybe he can get a residency. Maybe he can be performing at practice during the day, perform at night in Vegas. What with the hotel residency? Skip, it's time to move on for Odell. It's enough is enough.
Wow.
He's never going to be happy. It's never going to be as good. So guess what? He's not going to be happy with Eli. He's not going to be happy with anybody else. Let him go. Maybe he can find happiness somewhere else. But if I'm the Giants, I'm moving on from both of these guys, because I can be the exact same position without them as I am with them, and I can get something in return.
So the first order of business is you need to stop reading your timeline on Twitter.
No.
Yeah,
I like to read that.
number one.
No.
Did you see what Mike Gundy said about Twitter? Did you see that?
I loved it.
Get feedback.
It was great.
Good feedback.
Yeah.
I like feedback.
Do you feedback?
Yeah, I like feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gundy said, I don't give a what about Twitter, and then he went on to describe what it is.
Character.
Yeah, it was character. So I am with you on Odell, because I said before they gave him his money, his $90 million, that he'll just always be a little more trouble than he's worth at a dependent position that can't have enough impact on the scoreboard. It's still just the receiver position. It's not the quarterback position. And he is the biggest star in New York City. And right now, you could argue he's their only drawing card that they have left for the back half of the season. But if somebody is desperate enough to give me a first-round pick, I don't care if it's John Gruden, whoever, I'm out from, and they're going to take on $90 million?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Would John Gruden do that? I don't
Yeah.
think so. But I think he wants to start completely fresh and over with young players.
Odell is young. Odell 25.
I know, but you're strapped with $90 million for 5 years.
Well, tell him to give $50 million back. That's what they ask players to do,
Oh.
so we can make the team better. You know what I'm saying, Jenny? They ask the players to give money back to make the team better.
Oh, a little different.
Then on to Eli. I'm going to say this again. I said it before the year started. I tuned in to watch Baker Mayfield play in the Senior Bowl, and I could not take my eyes off Kyle Lauletta. And he's one of those kids who just knows how to play quarterback. He can operate. I'm not saying he's a Pro Bowl quarterback or he's going to change your life, but he's fun to watch because he has a nice feel for the position. You would enjoy watching him operate. The Giants fans would certainly enjoy watching him operate after being stuck with the eyesore that is washed up Eli. Because you're right, he's lost his nerve. He's lost his way. It's sad. It's just kind of hard to watch. He's like decrepit.
Because now people are questioning whether or not, well, what is Pat Shermer going to do? Okay, the last 3 years of Coach Coughlin, Ben McAdoo had a year or two.
Yep.
And now Pat Shermer, what's the common denominator in all those? Eli. Eli is the common denominator. So now all of a sudden it's the head coach. Well, you've changed 3 head coaches. Ben McAdoo saw this way before anybody else did, Skip, and he tried to move in that direction. He got the blessing, I believe, from ownership to move in a different direction. But the outcry from the fan base, because Eli had delivered us 2 championships, not just 2, but who did he beat for those 2? That's what. And they're like, oh, I can't believe they would do this to Eli. Oh, Eli, poor Eli, he deserved better than this. Eli could have made this move. If Eli had played better, there's no way Ben McAdoo is even fathoming putting up Geno Smith into the starting lineup, knowing that Geno Smith isn't the answer. But Eli brought this to fruition. Eli is making us have this conversation. It's not like, man, we need to talk about Eli. Eli lighting it up. Eli stinking it up.
And he's stunk it up for a long time.
Long time.
Yeah.
At some point in time, look, they say, fish, after 3 days, it's time to throw them out and it smells. Eli done had 3 years. Eli done had about 4 or 5 years where he just stuck it up, Skip. I understand New York is big, but that stench still got to be residing over New York. So Eli let it go.
Still living off 2 Super Bowl wins over Tom Brady.
I've never seen a quarterback get such shelf life off that. Skip, don't you have to update your resume? That's on your resume. That can never, if you graduate with honors from Harvard or Vanderbilt or Yale or Savannah State, like your boy.
But by the way, Harvard is the Vanderbilt to the north.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
The other way around, I think Vanderbilt. Okay.
But anyway.
Same thing.
That's on your resume, Skip, but you got to update it. Eli hadn't updated his resume in a long time.
If he had just beaten Trent Dilfer in the Super Bowl, I don't think he'd still be the quarterback.
Oh, no. But he beat Tom Brady.
He beat Tom Brady, the luckiest throw in the history of Super Bowl passes.
No.
Yes, it was. Huh?
He practiced that throw.
He practiced that throw to stick it in the face mask of David Tyree? Really? Oh, way to go.
Whoa. Why did it even come down to that? If you to go, why you even let it come down to that? You was averaging 37 points a season, and you could only get me 7. You could only get me 14.
With 2 minutes left in the game, as he usually does, he drove them 75 yards and hit Randy Moss with what should have been the winning touchdown pass.
14 points.
They went ahead 14. Would that have gotten a seat at your restaurant?
No,
yes.
No.
Yeah, that was for the win.
So Coach Belichick held a team to 17 points.
And then what happened
Tom Brady
to
couldn't
Coach
give him
Belichick's
20.
defense? What happened to the defense? You got to shut it down.
17.
All right. We saved the best for last. Was Skip shocked that Kawhi Leonard didn't play last night? We'll discuss that next.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. Last night, the Raptors lost for the first time this season, but Kawhi Leonard did not play in the game, apparently needing to rest instead. It was the second game Kawhi has sat out this year, but he's played at least 30 minutes in the 5 other games. Skip, what did this tell you?
Be my guest, Toronto. Enjoy number 2, who will never be anything more than number 2 to me. He quit on my Spurs last year. He quit. And guess what? He's still, quote unquote, hurt. He's missed 2 of the first 7 games. You like that, Shannon?
Being
because
smart.
I told you so. He's still, quote unquote, hurt. You know what? I'll take DeMar DeRozan any day or any night over number 2.
Whoa. You wasn't singing this tune last year when he was getting swept up out of the playoffs again by LeBron. And the previous year, you didn't say you want DeMar DeRozan. You said he was underachieving. How dare you let the baby dinosaurs let LeBron do this to him? Now, because your guy's not in San Antonio,
you know what? He's seen the light. He's a change of scenery. Now he's empowered. He's got Coach Pop on his side.
Toronto is being cautious. He normally misses the back-to-back, the back end of the back-to-back. This was the front end.
He's like 26 years old.
Missed
What are you
73.
doing?
Just be smart.
Be smart. What? You're still hurt?
No.
He's still got a thigh bruise.
Just make sure you don't get hurt.
Thigh bruise.
Kawhi, keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on giving us them 30.
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, DeMar, keep on doing what you're doing, which is closing clutch. That's what he does every game.
I guarantee they take Kawhi right back right now. San Antonio would take Kawhi right now.
He won't play. He's hurt.
Well, then why y'all tried to egg him to play, try to push him to play last year?
Try to push him to play?
Yeah, you did.
Played 9 games out of 82.
Yeah.
He got cleared at midseason by the most conservative staff in sports.
And you know what he said? He said, I'm going to hit y'all with these 22 after the season.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.